Now get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back this summer. Catch 6 games of NBA action and fun for the whole family when the California Classic Summer League returns on July 3rd and 5th. The Kings will host the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, and newly added San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets with the number 1 and number 2 NBA draft picks. 2-day passes start at just $42 and include access to all 6 games. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Do you have any superstitions on the golf course? You know, most players have some. Links Golf Magazine offers a few. Never tee off in front of someone who just made a birdie. That's sure to incur the wrath of the golf gods. What's your lucky ball marker? Maybe a quarter with your birth year? Never carry an extra ball in your pocket, and never use a ball you deem a water ball on a par 3 with a water hazard. There's a reason they're called water balls. And never use a ball found during a round. Using it the same day is bad karma. And if there's an unbroken tee on the tee box, another golfer left it behind for good reason. Speaking of tees, according to the late Tony Lima, white tees suffered from commonness and can be bad luck. Lee Trevino never used yellow. Other colors are acceptable except pink unless you're Paula Kramer. If you're in the middle of a career round, don't go near the ball washer. You might wash away the ball's magical awesomeness. And never talk to your competitor's ball in flight, yelling, hook, carry, get down, or hit a house. It'll come back to haunt you. Kind of makes you feel normal, huh? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Carmichael Dave here. Spring here. Long, cold, rainy winter behind us. And I know you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioning is working efficiently and safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from my friends at American Energy Heat and Air. Nothing worse than having your AC go out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today to make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Or schedule your appointment online like I did last year around this time at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Don't wait till that AC goes out. Call my friends today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Oh, Chris.
What up, Jay?
Did you pull the short straw today, my friend?
It doesn't feel like it, man.
No?
What are you talking about? It's a Friday. I'm going to set the vibes off right. Feeling good. I haven't been in this seat in a while. Can't lie.
How's it feel? Comfy?
Feels good. Yeah, I can spread my arms out a little, you know. Feels nice.
Welcome to Chris & Co. I'm the Co today.
Yeah.
I haven't been the Co in a while.
No, you haven't. It's been a while. Yeah, we did that show on the holiday the other day, but
we'll also be doing a show together
on Monday.
9 to 12. Tune in for that.
Monday. Yeah.
But it is Friday. There is a ton of stuff to talk to. Before we dive into all that, just want to give you a quick U.S. Open update brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood, where it's all about choices.
Oh.
And get this.
What?
Always about quality.
Always has been. Always
Sitting atop the leaderboard through 7. 9 strokes under. Wyndham Clark. Name did not expect to see at the top of the leaderboard. Ricky Fowler, Xander Schauffele, names I did expect to see at top of the leaderboard. They're tied for second. They are 8 under. Fowler tees off at 132. Schauffele at 154. So we'll be keeping close attention to that all day. But Chris, we got a ton of stuff to get to. Let's just start right off the bat. I mean, a lot of news broke this morning in the world of the NBA, but dare I say the biggest news of them all, Ja Morant. It was announced by the NBA has been suspended for 25 games. What was your initial reaction when you saw that tweet come out?
Man, I mean, first off, I don't know why Adam Silver had to make us wait for this. That was definitely my first thought with all of the pretense heading into this about Adam Silver saying, oh man, like I don't want to distract from the finals because, I don't want to take from the narrative or from the storyline of the two teams playing.
Which he did.
Right. Exactly. By saying that, he absolutely did. And then, after he said that, you expect the worst. You're like, okay, I'm expecting Ja to be out for 40, 50 games. I mean, it sounded like Adam Silver was really preparing us for a monster news drop about Ja Morant's suspension. In 25 games, I'm okay with. I think the number might not sound very big, but in reality, I mean, that's just about 2 months of the season gone. It also eliminates Ja from with the new CBA, pretty much. He can't now make all NBAs or is he can't.
He's not eligible for
awards.
postseason awards, and also I'd imagine missing the first 25 games will not be a consideration for the All-Star team.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point.
We'll dive into the specifics of that later on here. But yeah, this is a big suspension, especially when you compare it to suspensions of yesteryear.
Right.
Some of the bigger ones we've seen. We were going through them this morning. I think Gilbert is still the biggest at 50 games, correct?
The biggest suspension of all time is actually technically OJ Mayo, who got suspended for 2 years after a second violation of an anti-doping violation.
Did Tyreek get 2?
You know what? He did actually. Yeah, Tyreek did get 2 as well. Yeah, for the same double offense. And then, of course, Ron Artest for the Malice in the Palace earned himself a total of 86 games. But, I mean, this is... at least by my calculation, I did some research on this. This is tied for the 8th longest suspension in NBA history. So, I mean, again, 25 games might not sound like a lot, but it really is in terms of just the precedent that the league has set. And some of the other guys, who got 25 games, Jody Meeks got 25 games for HGH. Hito Turkoglu got 20 games for having human growth hormone found in
I
one
forgot
of his
about the random HGH suspensions in the NBA.
Yeah, so random. Yeah, we're past. I don't even think they test for HGH anymore, funny enough.
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, and then there's Kermit Washington who got in a fight with Tom Gugliotta as well. So
I think you mean Rudy Tom.
I'm sorry, Rudy Tomjanovich. I'm sorry, I just had a fun.
Who would want to fight Tom Gugliotta?
I know,
such a nice guy.
I just had a funny name in my head, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's this one.
And I don't know if anyone's ever seen the Tomjanovich Kermit Washington fight where Washington. It's a scary.
I had to watch it again this morning, and I was like, oh, that got. And by the way, yeah, that punch got 26 games.
Right.
And so for John to get 25 after watching that, I was like, okay, almost killing someone on the court. Yeah, I guess that's,
I want to put in context here too. That's during the 70s where fighting was kind of a normal thing in the NBA. That may seem very foreign to people, but go look at the NBA prior to David Stern taking over as commissioner in 1984.
Yeah.
Not great.
Not great at all. Yeah. League didn't have a great reputation at that point. So, I mean, the Josh suspension is definitely significant. Like, it's going to hurt Memphis. He's not allowed to be in team activities until the suspension is over. So that means no training camp for Ja either. That's going to put him behind the 8 ball. Also means he's not going to be able to practice leading into playing after 25 games is served. So, this could end up really being like 26, 27, maybe even 30 games when you add on like the conditioning that it's going to take for Ja to get ramped up. Like, it's significant. It's really, really significant. Like, imagine if the Kings didn't have De'Aaron Fox for 25 or 30 games, we would all probably be thinking, well, it's going to be a tough season and it's going to be really tough to make the postseason when you miss that much time. Thankfully for the Memphis side of things, if you're a Grizzlies fan, the Memphis has traditionally performed pretty well without Ja in the lineup. So, I guess you have that you can maybe hold on to.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tyus Jones, is the best backup in the NBA.
Agreed.
But what's that roster going to look like? You know, I mean, they have serious question marks as much as the Ja Morant thing has completely taken the spotlight on what I think is deeper culture issues within the Grizzlies organization, the way it's ran, the way things that are kind of just let loose there. That organization has a very cavalier attitude, not the Cleveland ones. No, and it's kind of shown that like a lot of people just look at Memphis like, dude, nobody likes y'all.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a place between the Dylan Brooks stuff, Ja Morant. It like needs a reset there.
Yes.
So it'll be very interesting if this plays into that. I want to read just a part of what Ja Morant said in his statement, because he released a lengthy statement after this was come over. And this is the one that got me. I'm spending the offseason and my suspension continuing to work on my own mental health and decision making.
There he goes again with that.
And that's kind of like the thing we heard from him the first time around when he got suspended. What is the plan there?
Yeah.
You're suspended 25 games. You have all summer basically. Like, you got some time.
Yeah.
Does the NBA step in and say, hey man, here's a checklist of things we'd like you to do.
Yeah.
Can't force these upon you. Do the Grizzlies step in and be like, hey man, it's time to really get serious about this stuff? Or is it they're leaving it up to him to figure out? Because if that's the case, I think we've already seen that does not go right.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, of those 3 scenarios, and I think those are really what's in front of Ja right now, I would hope the team steps in, because frankly, the team, I'm sure, understands that, you've already tied yourself to Ja for the next 3-4 years of his career. You need to fix this problem as well. Like, yes, this is a Ja Morant personal problem, but it also reflects on your organization. Obviously, Ja Morant's a really big piece of your
He's
on
the
the
head
court
of the
product. Right. Like, you need to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again, because like we saw with, we just talked about Tyreek and the OJ Mayo suspensions. Yeah, those are for different things, but the precedent is set that, and this is really Ja's already his second opportunity. The NBA is not going to be lenient if anything like this happens again. And it doesn't have to be him waving a gun on IG Live again, but it's really anything that's of this realm. Ja's not going to get a third chance at this. Like, the next time, and I see there's people in the comments who are, Willie Bowen is out here saying that Ja should have been suspended the whole 82 games. I disagree, but next time, maybe.
Yeah.
Really, maybe.
We've set the threshold now at 25.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of where we're at. It's 25. He does anything even within, to your point, the realm of this again, that escalates probably to 50, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Like, I'm talking fights. If he gets, whatever, the incident that we heard that happened in Indiana, like anything. There's no more leniency on this guy. No way.
And when you set that threshold at 25, you can only escalate it depending on what is the thing.
Right.
But then when you look at that from a long-term standpoint, okay, Ja's missing 25 this year.
Right.
Let's say something that we're speaking of right now does happen, and it's like, oh, we're going to tack on another 50.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Gilbert Arenas was still a good basketball player when he got suspended for 50 games. He was never the same. Now, I know he had injury issues and stuff too, and that definitely played a role. Gilbert was never the same after that whole incident happened with Javaris Crittenton in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And you'll see Ja Morant probably go down a similar path, not just from a financial story. By the way, Nike said they are not cutting ties with him. Nike is staying with him. But at the same time, another incident, they might cut ties with him.
Yeah.
Another incident, you lose all that on-court time at this point in your career, it's going to hamper you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying really hard to not be, I think sometimes, especially, with what we do, I think a lot of times it's a competition of, everyone on air trying to make sure that they're putting across
right.
that I'm a punishment guy. Yeah, guy. I will not. I cannot stand for this, and I'm trying to not do that. But man, it's just really hard, even given this opportunity. Like, we have 4 different incidents that we can point to of Ja Morant, and that we know of, that we personally as the public know of. And I'm just really struggling. I mean, 25 games I think is fine, but again, like, I just don't know, to what you pointed out earlier, what is being set in motion to make sure this doesn't happen again? Because by Ja's statement there, it makes me feel like this is being put in his hands.
Right.
And we've already seen that doesn't work.
No.
He cannot, not that he can't be trusted, but he clearly didn't understand the first time the severity of this. Maybe this time it kicks in, but why should we believe that this is the time? And, they always say actions speak louder than words. We'll have to see if Ja is true to what he says, but I just have a really tough time. I just have a tough time believing him moving forward.
Yeah, this won't be the last time we talk about Ja
I don't think
today,
so.
because there's so much meat on that bone.
There's a lot.
We'll get more into Ja Morant at 1 o'clock, but next, Shams Charania set off an earthquake.
Man, did he.
In Sacramento.
Goodness gracious.
Twitter and sports world. Bradley Beal to Sacramento? How would that even happen financially? We'll look at it next right here on Chris & Co. on Sactown Sports.
The King season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
Returning is honestly my number one priority. Be a part of something special.
Stay tuned all off season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com. Find a location near you. Grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings. Hey, just wing it.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris & Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
We'll get to another U.S. Open update coming up around 10:28 or so. But in Sacramento, Chris, we've always heard with Monty McNair as the general manager. He comes from the Houston system with Daryl Morey, where they go big game hunting every offseason.
Yeah.
Like, if they have a chance to pick up a bona fide star to add to their roster, they are the first people to pick up the phone and make a call. Now, a couple days ago, it came out that Bradley Beal in Washington, a multiple-time All-Star, on arguably one of the worst contracts in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's arguable.
Could finally be available.
Yeah.
After all these years of him wanting to stay in Washington and be a Wizard, he's finally open to the idea of a trade, especially with them looking to tear it down with the new front office in Washington.
Yep.
And Shams Charania of The Athletic broke yesterday that the Sacramento Kings are one of the first teams that's picked up the phone and called Bradley Beal. That part of me was not shocking.
Yeah.
Again, I think anytime a superstar is available, Monty McNair will pick up the phone and make a call to inquire about it. Here's the thing that got me. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bradley Beal is the only player in the NBA with a no trade clause?
Yes, I believe currently, yeah. I mean, the last player I could think that even had one was Carmelo Anthony.
And I'm not talking about guys that have that weird bird restriction that allows them to choose their. This is one of the legit no trade clauses.
Yes, like an old-fashioned no trade clause.
And what got me was when Charania said, it sounds like Beal would be open to waiving that no trade clause to come to Sacramento.
Yeah. Don't hear that one a lot.
Have you ever heard that?
No, actually, no. Well, only from Dwight Howard now. Dwight Howard and Bradley Beal are the only two people I've ever heard directly express, yeah, I'd be down.
Well, yeah, and I think Dwight Howard's down for any sort of signing
anything.
to a contract in basketball. And like the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association, where he plays, like his team is asking him to take like some 70% pay cut.
65%,
Yeah, because he sucked so bad.
Yeah.
But Bradley Beal, man. So later on, I want to get into how he would fit on the roster and all of that.
Sure.
But before we can even get to all of that, you have to work out the scenario of how the hell would this even happen?
Exactly.
I've crunched some numbers. I don't know if you have.
I've tried.
Okay, what did you come up with?
All that I could find out is that you would essentially, I mean, Herder's deal makes sense to throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can obviously throw Rashawn's deal in there. And then it's kind of like you can maybe do a sign and trade with Barnes. You can maybe do a Davion Mitchell included in there. That's really the only I mean, the Kings really don't have that many guys signed onto their team right now. I think they only have 8 guys that are actually signed to contracts right now.
It's 7 or 8, and then I know they have a player option on Kessler Edwards.
Yes, right, exactly. So that could get thrown in, but that's only like $2 million. Maybe
it's not a significant amount of money that's going to move the needle.
Right, exactly. What have you found?
So I found a way to make it work, and the other part of Shams' tweet was that the two teams have not been able to come up with a path.
No pathways.
No pathways right now, and here's why. So I'll lay out the financials for you.
Please.
Bradley Beal next year is going to make, I believe, $46.5 million. A lot of money. Okay.
Seems like it.
Very hard to make that trade happen in a scenario that doesn't involve either Sabonis or Fox's contract. Because let's be very clear. Okay. Because I've seen people float this out there, and I want to shut this down right now. De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis would not be involved in this trade.
I don't think so.
Especially when you look at what some of the, ESPN and all the talking heads, smart people, front office people have said. Because of Beal's contract, it's not going to take a huge ask to get this deal done from a talent or pick standpoint, because that contract is just so bad.
Massive. 4 years, $200 million left on the deal.
Yeah, and one of those is a player option in the last year. Spoiler alert, he's gonna take it.
He's gonna take it. $57 million. He's not making that anywhere else.
And I think he'll be 34 at that point. He's opting into that.
He's already. I can break that news right now. If we have a breaking news sounder, Bradley Beal has already opted into his player option for 2026.
So I see people floating the Harrison Barnes sign and trade thing. I don't think that's an option, because you'd have to have Harrison agree to go to Washington.
Right.
He's not going to want to go to a team that's in a rebuild.
They're
not going to want to pay him the money he probably wants to go there.
Right.
So get the Harrison Barnes sign and trade out.
Yeah,
that's not a thing.
To your point also, to build on that, it makes no sense for Washington. Why would Washington be like, yeah, we're trying to rebuild. Let's sign Harrison Barnes to a 3-year $60 million contract. Why would, besides the great locker room presence that Harrison Barnes is, there's no reason to lock him down if you're Washington for that long.
So here's how this trade works. You have to renounce the rights to all of your free agents. That would mean you're basically saying we're not going to re-sign all of them except Trey Lyles. I worked it out that way.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But you're saying no more HB.
Yep.
That means Terrence Davis is gone. Even Keon, Nemius Keita. Like, you have to get down to those contracts. Metu. There's one I'm forgetting. Len.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Yeah.
So you renounce that.
I think at that point you have like 20 million opening cap.
No, you actually have 11.
11.
Okay. 11.
Gotcha.
So you can get about 11 million under the cap there. Okay. And I've also exercised Walker Kessler's option, because they would need him
Kessler
for
Edwards.
depth. Kessler Edwards. I wish it was Walker Kessler.
I do too. I definitely do too.
So you renounce all your free agents except Trey Lyles.
Yep.
You have to trade Herder.
Yep.
You have to trade your first this year.
Yep.
Which
24.
Which, by the way, you make the pick and then send it later. That's how you get around the Stepien rule. So Herder, your first. Rashawn Holmes contract.
Yep.
Davion Mitchell for Bradley Beal.
I mean, player for player wise, that's nothing for Sacramento.
Right.
Like Kevin Herter's clearly the best player going in that deal. We know how good, Kevin Herter's a 12 to, I think he ended up around 16 points per game guy.
Shot over 40 or close to 40 from 3.
Right. On a team, if he were to go to a bad Washington team, he's probably going to put up somewhere near 15 points per game. He's not really a guy that creates his own shot, but still a very capable NBA player, and is always in his career averaged around 12 points per game. So that's fine. I mean, from just giving up assets, 24 Herder, expiring Holmes deal, and I guess you're cashing in Davion Mitchell, who, for sure, like there's definitely some good elements to what Davion brings, but he's not, he hasn't necessarily stuck up to his worth of being the 8th pick in the draft. I don't think you could get the 8th pick in the draft, ninth pick for Davion Mitchell right now. So I think that's fine. If you're Sacramento and that's what you end up giving up to get a guy of the caliber of Bradley Beal, the talent of Bradley Beal, that's a great move.
By the way,
a great move.
I don't think Washington says no to that.
I don't think so either, because Kevin Huerter, someone you could sell. Davion Mitchell's still young, provides something, and Rashawn Holmes is he's still not expiring, right?
He has 2 years left.
Yikes.
And Rashawn in the right offense is still an NBA
he's
rotation
usable
player.
for sure, right?
And again, none of those guys are on crazy money deals. Oh, and by the way, you get the number 24 pick.
Right. Yeah, and that also is 3 different positions as well. If you're Washington and you're like, we're trying to just field a roster at that point, there's a starting caliber point guard in Davion. Also, we get to see what happens if Davion gets starter minutes. We've seen him here in Sacramento even put up productive numbers when he's given 32 to 36 minutes in a game. Like he can maybe prove something out in Washington by himself. Huerter, DMV guy, I would love that for him. A nice little return home. And I think, with that 24th pick, it's, I can't imagine Washington's going to get much better than that. Like you said, I think everyone knows around the league, you're not going to offer massive pieces for this Bradley Beal contract. So getting a first round pick, getting 2 quality starters, I don't know if you can get better than that if you're Washington.
I don't think you can, but if you're the Kings. Now,
that's the problem.
That contract is massive.
It's way too big.
And he is starting to, I don't want to say he's on some super massive slide down,
but he's not
he
up.
Took a step back last year.
Yeah.
Now, I think he would be better with the Kings than he would be with Washington for some obvious reasons. But do you trust that in year 4, year 5 of that deal, that it's not going to just completely hamper you, especially when it comes to, you're going to have to offer Domas a max.
Yeah.
De'Aaron's playing on a max. By the time that contract with Beal is up, you're going to already be talking to De'Aaron possibly about a super max.
Right, exactly.
This is where it gets tricky, is the long-term ramifications of that deal.
Yeah, and then you look at the new CBA with how they have the penalties of if you're over a certain cap threshold, then you lose your mid-level exception. And
you lose a lot.
You lose a ton, and you have to pay taxes on it as well. And who knows if we haven't seen Vivek be willing at this point so far to really pay a crazy amount for his actual roster. I just don't think it makes sense financially at all because of how it hamstrings you, and also with the hamstringing of your salary cap, you just can't add the pieces necessary to really build this thing out. Like Fox, Sabonis, and Beal, it's a great combination. That's not a guaranteed championship. And if you're gonna go all in like this move would be, you need to at least guarantee yourself on paper that this is a conference finals team. You can't always,
at minimum.
Exactly. What's going to happen, how the ball ends up rolling out is not, you can't really always determine that. Like the Celtics have been close for the past 3 or 4 years.
Right.
That's really all you can ask for, is to be close. I don't think that this move with Fox, Sabonis, and Beal would guarantee conference championships. And for that reason, I can't sign up for it.
All right, we'll get more to the Kings roster building this offseason coming up at 11:13. But right now, we're going to take a break. Coming up next, Rob Manfred, commissioner extraordinaire, stooge of MLB.
The worst.
Makes maybe the most tone-deaf comment that a commissioner has ever made. We'll have the audio next.
The 123rd U.S. Open Golf Championship takes place at the Los Angeles Country Club, and Sactown Sports has you covered.
The U.S. Open, the tournament that I'd like to win, after having so many good opportunities.
Tune in from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 15th and Friday, June 16th for leaderboard updates and analysis.
Sactown Sports coverage of the U.S. Open is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast centered around plenty of sunshine and a toasty day again. We'll expect afternoon highs to climb to the low to mid 90s with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years. Pain is not normal. Repeat, pain is not normal. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the workday and the pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back is unrelenting. Good Feet understands that you've likely already tried assorted remedies and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports. With arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free, no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Hello, I'm Frank Cock with Retirement Security Center with a weekly economic update. Perspective is important as it can frame your point of view. U.S. inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index rose a less than expected 4% year over year. An optimist sees this as a more than 50% drop from peak inflation. A pessimistic view would be that this is still twice as high as the 2% rate the Federal Reserve is targeting. What view would the Federal Reserve have? While they decided to leave rates at 5.25% for now, they stated that up to 0.5% rises may still occur, possibly as early as their July meeting. Some market strategists are signaling the end of the bear market and the start of a new bull market as the S&P 500 has risen 20% from its October 2022 low. The S&P 500 rises 92% of the time in the 12 months following the start of a new bull market, averaging 17.7%. Looking at the lack of stocks participating in this new potential bull market may give you pause that we have actually entered a new bull market. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back this summer. Catch 6 games of NBA action and fun for the whole family when the California Classic Summer League returns on July 3rd and 5th. The Kings will host the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, and newly added San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets with the number 1 and number 2 NBA draft picks. 2-day passes start at just $42 and include access to all 6 games. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
We're going to get to MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred's comments here in about 1 minute on the boycott that took place in Oakland Tuesday night, correct?
Yes, it was Tuesday.
But before we
feels like forever ago, though.
No, it really does. Like, given the fact that all the relocation stuff, the Vegas vote, all that happened, yeah, it does feel forever. Before we do that, though, I want to give you a quick update on the U.S. Open leaderboard, which is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Wyndham Clark still sitting atop the leaderboard, -9 through 8. Again, tied for second, Ricky Fowler and Xander Schauffele. Fowler tees off at 132, Schauffele at 154. So, fortunately, Chris, for me and you, we will be out of here by the time those two tee off. So we won't know. We'll have to go home and watch.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for us, but yeah, we're gonna have to go home and watch. And
we can play golf.
Yeah, I do play golf. I try and watch golf, but definitely on Sunday I'll definitely tune in. That's usually
if I'm watching a major, it's on Sunday.
It's on Sunday. I'm sorry.
I shout out to all the golf diehards though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially the ones I saw tweeting like another major championship, another way. I have to Google how to watch it.
Bro, for real, that's what it's so tough. It's really, really hard to watch games this year. I hate to sound like, and I'm one of the youth. I'm supposed to be hip on these things.
You're supposed to know the apps.
Yeah, and I'm like Peacock, Paramount Plus, ESPN Plus. Like I can't keep up. I really cannot keep up. Yesterday, I was trying to watch USA versus Mexico soccer game, and it took me legitimately 15 minutes to try and find which service it was on, only for me to realize it was Paramount Plus, which I don't have. So
Lord.
it's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
You know who else can't keep up?
Who?
Rob Manfred when it comes to trying to find smart comments to say about things.
Bro.
Let me lay the scene here real quick before I play this audio. I don't know if I've ever come across a more tone-deaf commissioner in all of sports than Rob Manfred. I thought the man he replaced, Bud Selig, was terrible. Like, Bud Selig was an awful commissioner.
Terrible. He's somehow worse.
This dude makes Bud Selig look like David Stern.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad he is.
Yes, 100%.
Yesterday, after the owners' meetings, he was asked by reporters about the situation going on with the A's in Oakland, and he made a lot of dumb comments. But this one right here, I thought it was fake. That's my rundown. I need that.
Nate just stole the rundown.
Nate just tried to steal my rundown.
He needs the guests.
Anyways, here is what the commissioner, Rob Manfred, said about the reverse boycott that was hosted Tuesday in Oakland by a very, very faithful fan base.
I'm going to get so mad.
Did you watch the A's game on Tuesday when the fans came out for the reverse boycott?
I was actually at a dinner with the owners.
Did you read the coverage?
I did. I saw
impression of that.
I mean, it was great. It's great to see what is this year, almost an average Major League Baseball crowd in the facility for one night. That's a great thing.
Bro.
I'm not trying to promote violence, but that guy needs to be socked in the mouth.
Wow.
Thanks
for not trying to promote violence.
I'm not trying to
Appreciate
promote it, but someone should do it. What's top 5 worst things you could say? That's 1, 2, and it's just like, why are you demeaning something that was so incredible? Like something universally everyone could find as incredible, great showing. The fans know that the team's on the way out and still supported that way, still showed up, still chanted, showed that passion. And that's what you have to say about it is, yeah, we're happy that the A's performed or sold like a average MLB game. Yeah, that was a cool MLB game that happened on Tuesday. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
That's all
about
it was.
That's all it was.
Nothing else. Just some people showed up, cheered on the team.
Yeah,
nothing
to see here.
And it's just it's such a microcosm of just the overall issues that baseball has from ownership and this guy who is just when you talk about stooges, man, this guy is a 100%. Listen, commissioners are stooges for the teams the owners of teams.
Roger Goodell. Yeah.
Roger Goodell's a stooge.
Perfect.
Roger Goodell's not this tone deaf.
No, he's not.
Roger Goodell looks like an angel next to Rob Manfred.
Yep.
And it's just basically, here's how I interpreted it. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not nice. Mm-hmm. Screw Oakland.
Yep, he said that.
He basically, right?
Yeah,
screw the fans that have been supporting this team for 55 years.
Yeah.
That's cute.
That's
Who
cute.
cares?
Real cute.
We got what we wanted. And we have all the money and all the control. Shut up. Mm-hmm. You're meaningless.
Yep.
Right? That is basically what he said.
See ya. Not going to miss you. Cute. Adorable. Gross. It's just gross. From a commissioner. This is the commissioner of the sport. And I've seen people ask, and I don't really follow Rob Manfred outside of what he's talked about here. I know, and I know he's almost made a profession of making dumb statements like this, but it really does beg the question of, does this guy even enjoy the sport?
He's been asked that, by the way, in interviews.
It's crazy. It's like, how do you not understand, even just like the lack of understanding or the lack of compassion for the fan base,
empathy at the very least,
anything, any sort of sympathy for these people who are losing a major part of their lives, and all you have to say is thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Wish you guys would have sold out,
right?
But cool. Glad you guys acted like a normal team for a day.
Had you done this every game every year, because of that great product we put out,
19 wins. Sick.
They'd be there. First of all, no, you would still screw the fan base if they sold out every game the last 10 seasons. You would still screw the fan base over. Number one, let's get that very clear. And then number two, you were saying, like, wow, this is the commissioner making a stupid comment. Like, this is the same individual who referred to the World Series championship trophy. By the way, that is named after his office. It is called the Commissioner's Trophy. as a huck of metal.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. It's just a huck of metal. I don't understand what's.
Why do these guys want that?
Why do people care?
Why do these owners display these trophies when they win them? Why do the San Francisco Giants feel the need to take this huck of metal where thousands and thousands of people showed up with to take a picture at city halls in Northern California?
Yeah.
Right? This is the same idiot who, when told and asked by reporters, like, hey, man, it seems like your sport has trouble marketing its players.
Yeah.
Number one, fact.
Yes.
Number two, he points the finger at baseball's biggest star at the time, Mike Trout, and says it's his fault.
He does a lot of that. I've noticed that. He does a lot of blame shifting. It's not our fault. What? Wait, why is it our job to market those guys? They should market themselves.
There was never anything in Oakland. He said that yesterday.
I was going to read that.
My gosh.
This is also from I assume the same press conference. This is also a quote from Rob Manfred yesterday. He said, I did not like this outcome. I understand why they feel the way they do. I think the real question is, what is it Oakland was prepared to do? There is no Oakland offer. They never got to a point where they had a plan to build a stadium at any site. We literally saw. You can look up right now Howard Terminal. The
there is a $88 million gap. That, by the way, Oakland is getting ready to. They're getting awarded more funds for it to actually get it down closer to 60. What are you talking about?
I just don't understand what this man is talking. There are direct plans to build in Oakland.
Google how much public money that Oakland has secured already for this deal, which, by the way, is the deal the A's themselves said had to happen.
Yes.
We have to have this site with all this ancillary development. We have to have it.
Yep.
And Oakland said, cool, we'll play ball.
Yep.
And they're out there getting the funding for it. And there's no deal. There never was a deal. Shocking that would come out of the mouth of the same person. Tell me if this sounds crazy. You think everything we said sounds crazy? Let's put it on a real human level now, like even more than what he said about the fans in Oakland on Tuesday. This is the same individual who took offense when asked if $12,000 a year for minor league baseball players is a livable wage. He said it was. $12,000 a year to Rob Manfred is a livable wage. And when questioned about it, he was offended at the question.
He might make that in a week. He
makes that in a day.
Yeah.
Commissioners make a lot of money.
They do.
It's just an absolute fool, moron, stooge that runs MLB and is running it right into the ground. All right, we got to take a break.
Man, that was a hot segment.
That was a hot segment. Hey, Michael Jordan was once a hot basketball player.
He was at one time.
Not so hot after the post-career when it came to running teams.
Yeah, not great.
But sure made a lot of money on his team this morning.
Exactly.
We'll break down the Charlotte Hornets sell next on Chris & Co. with Jay Mars on Sactown Sports.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Summer's here, and the deals are heating up at Fastener's Tool Outlet. You'll find scorching deals next Saturday on Makita Tools. Get 2 free batteries with the purchase of a circular saw kit, and get $50 off any 40-volt tool kit. Fastener's Tool Outlet is turning up the heat on Makita summer savings next Saturday. Buy a 2-piece combo kit and get 2 extra free batteries. Come into Fastener's Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road, or on the web at fastenersinc.net.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. You know, it's Jeep season. I keep hearing about the new Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Chad, do you have any deals this month?
Right now, you can lease a new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe for only $379 a month for 36 months with $49.95 due at signing. That's a savings of up to $13,500, or you can save up to $92.50 off MSRP, plus get $37.50 in federal tax credits for a total savings of over $13,000.
Whether I lease or buy the new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe, I can save up to $13,000 or more?
Yeah, and now the only decision is which one you want, because we have a great selection of Wrangler 4xes with over 50 available.
Find your perfect vehicle now when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com.
$13,500 in total net savings after $11,000 factory rebates and $2,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, $3,000 carb rebate, and $500 California bonus cash. Must be California resident qualify. 36-month lease term, $49.95 cash due at signing, plus tax, license, and accessories on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 25 cents per mile charge of over 10,000 miles per year. $92.50 total net savings after $57.50 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount, plus optional $37.50 tax credit may apply for buyers who meet current federal tax standards only, subject to change. See your CPA for qualifications. For California residents only, 5 weeks net savings. See dealer for details.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Coming up top of the hour. Oh, you know what? I did it, Dave. Coming up top of the hour, Sasha Vezenkov. He won himself in a what league was it? The Greek League, right?
The Greek League, yeah.
Won a Greek League
champion.
title yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was a fight to the finish.
It really was.
No, like actually, literally.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next.
Oh, boy.
Michael Jordan, where do you land on him? Greatest of all time.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, we're doing this.
All
Just
right,
real quick.
man,
It's
let's
not
do
a
it.
huge debate. Just tell me your
It's a
number.
radio show. Might as well. Sports talk show. Got to do the LeBron Jordan thing. Oh, man.
Don't put too much thought
I think
into
he
it.
still won.
Okay.
I still think he's won.
That's fine. An argument most people will support.
Yeah.
When it comes to basketball players that have gone into business ventures, where do you rank Michael Jordan?
It's got to be number one.
Right?
I mean, everyone's tried to make shoes that touch the level of Jordan's, and nobody's been able to do it. I mean, LeBron, I know, has his own Nike branch now, like Jordan, but it's not touching it. It's not touching what Mike does. I mean, we talked about the other day.
Magic Johnson's up there.
Magic for sure. I mean, yeah, with his investment into the Dodgers, absolutely. LeBron is definitely staking his claim, absolutely. But there's only one Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that one Michael Jordan bought the Charlotte, then Bobcats, now back to the Hornets, for $275 million in 2010. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Today, he announced the franchise has sold for $3 billion. Going back to the business side, pretty good.
Holy crap. That's incredible. That is a ridiculous come up right there. And also really didn't do much to make that team's value that high. You know, like this is a bad Hornets team.
Everybody else made the value that high. All the other teams that have sold since then, from the Sacramento Kings to the Milwaukee Bucks to the Phoenix Suns, the Brooklyn Nets, all of those teams, because they sold for so much, just naturally elevated that. Michael didn't have to do nothing.
Looks like a genius. Vivek, bought the team for $500 million? I
think it was like $565.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, with the Hornets going and selling at $3 billion, everybody that is in the ownership group of the Kings is super happy.
Yes.
You know why? Because the Kings are now worth over $3 billion.
Yes, they are 100%.
They're in California. Like, they're worth more than the Hornets.
Yep. Let them start winning, and then, oh boy, that valuation will skyrocket.
Dude, they got to be worth, I would ballpark it between 3.5 and 3.8.
I was going to say 3.5. That's what I would guess right now. If they were selling on the open market, 3.5 is probably what it would go for.
My gosh, man.
Nuts. And I mean,
we should have invested in a basketball
team. We should have. 100% we should have. That was my first thought too. I saw J. Cole as part of this new new Hornets ownership group, and I was like, that's the move, man. That is absolutely the move. I'm sure Shaq also cashed out on his Kings ownership.
Oh yeah, no, Shaq made a nice little penny on that.
Right, yeah.
So we're saying it. Basketball player, best ever.
Yep.
Businessman, best ever.
Yeah.
Running an actual organization. Not so great.
I won't say worst ever, because Donald Sterling exists, and you know, there's been a handful of other owners. That Robert Sarver exists. Those guys were terrible, but in terms of just trying to put a winning product out there, Mike is towards the bottom.
Let's look at just Charlotte. A little later on today, I want to get into the Washington stuff too. But let's just look at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Let's just evaluate that real quick. In Michael's, 13 seasons as the primary governor of the team, they never advanced past the first round in the playoffs.
Not great.
They never finished higher than 6th in the East.
Shout out Kemba Walker. Wow.
Kemba Walker, greatest second Charlotte Hornet of all time?
I think so.
The second Charlotte Hornets, I should say, not the original ones.
Yeah, not the new ones. Yeah. I would say so, hands down. Right.
You can count Bobcats, by the way. It's fine.
Is it Al Jefferson? Is it like Emeka Okafor? Is it, LaMelo Ball? Gerald Wallace
was
probably
their first All-Star.
For longevity. Yeah, probably Gerald Wallace.
By the way, the guys were listening. Not great.
Not great. No, not great at all. Like, even by King standards, not great.
In your just opinion, and we're just spitballing here because we don't have the details. How was Michael so successful in these other ventures, but when it came to the game he knew and loved, why could he not put a competent team on the court, or at least find the competent front office to do so?
Yeah,
that baffles me.
That's really strange to me too, because there is something about these great players, like we see with LeBron as well, lead GM. You know, he likes to bring in seemingly the wrong guys all the time. Like
he forced Miami to draft Shabazz Napier.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. is things like that, where it's just like you would assume that someone who is so great at this sport, you would be able to recognize commonalities between things that you do or you see in other players. You're like, oh my God, like Nikola Jokic, that guy, like I see that he sees the game in the same way that I do. That's what you would think.
And the same thing goes for like when it comes to contracts and players. Like you would think as a guy who knows the game in and out, it's like, X, Y, and Z is super injury prone.
Yep.
There's no reason to pay him big. It's not going to work out for us.
Right.
And I have zero idea of that.
I think for whatever reason, like the greatness is almost a detriment. Like you see guys like, and then on the opposite end, when you see guys like Steve Kerr, who just gets it, and Doc Rivers, a guy who's not a star, but is a great coach. Like, I think there's something to the role players having a better understanding of themselves, but also how people fit into a team. Like when you're a star, all you really know is everything revolves around you.
Right.
You don't understand the little things that everyone's doing around you to make your game easier. That would be my explanation. But besides that, that might also just be an excuse. I don't know, because to me, it would make sense that greatness should recognize greatness.
Yeah.
And greatness should not recognize Kwame Brown.
Exactly. And by the way, and like I said, we'll get into the Wizard stuff later.
Right.
But he destroyed Kwame Brown.
him.
Kwame Brown never had a career, large in part because of Michael Jordan. Again, we'll get to that later. But I'm with you. It's the greatness should recognize greatness, but it just doesn't.
It doesn't. It's so weird.
I wonder if it's just this mentality, right? Because Michael was so good and so gifted. But they say some of the most talented and greatest people they don't know how to translate that to others.
Sure.
They don't know why others can't be what they are.
Because it comes natural to them.
Right.
Yeah.
But they don't compute that.
Yeah.
You know, because look at it. Like, seriously, when you look in, and we'll stick to the NBA here, what like great Hall of Fame player turned out to be either a really good head coach or a really good executive? Jerry West.
Right. Jerry West is a shining example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry West.
There's really not a number two. Like, there's not, like, even someone like Steve Nash, who everyone universally was like, Steve Nash is going to be a great coach. Like, he was a great teammate, great setting up, was just understands the game, understands everything. Even Steve Nash didn't work out. Jason Kidd, greatest passer of all time. Maybe not of all. One of the greatest passers of all time.
He's one of the greatest players of all time. He's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. Hasn't really shown anything special as a coach. And so,
I think if anything, he's shown like he's not good at it.
Not good at it, right? Yeah.
Dude, I'm old enough to remember when Magic Johnson took over the Lakers several years ago.
Right. Bill Russell.
The
greatest, the great people say Bill Russell, fantastic teammate. Jerry Reynolds, I know, has tons of stories about Bill Russell. I've heard Kenny Smith talk tons about Bill Russell as a coach. There's something about greatness, and it might be exactly what you pointed at, that just doesn't translate. Yeah, they're not able to understand people who don't. My thing is not even the players who don't have it, but it's more just not being able to recognize the guys that do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand, again, like how Michael doesn't like have some better filter than everybody else.
It's almost like they expect those players to do things the way they did it.
Right.
And
Michael definitely
if
too.
I
right?
can convince you to do it the way I did it, you'll be a star.
And that screams
you have
Michael
limited
Jordan.
talent.
Yeah, that screams Michael Jordan as well. Is I mean, and we've seen him literally practice with the Hornets in the past as well, where and that could also be it as well, as Michael, of all people, is probably not the most caring individual as an owner.
Go back and
as
watch,
a governor.
Yeah, go back and watch The Last Dance. I don't think he's changed since his playing days.
Exactly. And so I think he's still calling out guys. I mean, we saw a couple years ago, there's a popular clip that's recirculating now of him hitting Malik Monk in the back of the head because Monk is like, I think Jordan treated his players as if they were his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And normally that would be a compliment. You would be like, oh yeah, that's how you would like to feel that sort of camaraderie. Yep. Again, watch The Last Dance again, or just look up any general information about Michael Jordan as a teammate, and you'll understand why that's the worst thing that Michael could treat his players as.
We got more on Michael selling the Hornets here a little bit later on today. But coming up next, Sasha Vezenkov could be Sacramento King, is a Greek League champion. Happened in the most weirdest of circumstances. We'll break it down next on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
During a Flex Alert, let's do the dishes after 9.
What about the laundry?
It can wait until tonight, or even the morning.
The AC?
It's at 78. Let's cool the house in the morning.
All right, so we're just chilling until 9.
Pretty much. And we can help avoid a power outage.
Putting off chores for later and hanging out with my best friend? I love Flex.
Maybe you should just unplug the appliances downstairs.
Good idea. Better acoustics in the basement.
California, the power is ours with Flex Alerts. Flex Alerts, the power is ours.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Hey, Jay, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in Maine. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good?
Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The annual Father's Day sale is on at Work World. For all the dads who show us the meaning of hard work, you keep our families and communities strong. Right now, Work World has unbeatable deals on high-quality work boots and workwear with brands like Wolverine, built for those who outdo and outlast. Wolverine work boots and apparel are the standard of comfort and durability on any job. Find our full selection of Wolverine and more great gifts for hardworking dads at your local Work World store and workworld.com. The City of Sacramento offers rebates to help with your outdoor water-saving projects this season. Rebates are available for landscape conversions, smart controllers, and irrigation upgrades that improve your water efficiency. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Thanks for hanging with the boys today, Chris and Co. Jay Mars, that's me. I'm the Co.
What
having a good time with my buddy Chris Watkins. We got a lot to get to this hour, but before we jump into what happened yesterday in the Greek League Championship game, teaser, it was nuts. Just a quick leaderboard update in the U.S. Open. Of course, our U.S. Open coverage here on Sactown Sports, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's always all about choices. Had it. That's it. All about choices, always about quality. Wyndham Clark still going strong through 9 in round number 2. He's shooting a -3 in the round. He finished at -6 yesterday. Total for -9, sitting atop the leaderboard. Ricky Fowler, Xander Schauffele, they are tied for second at -8. Fowler tees off at 132, Schauffele at 154. Again, we'll be giving you updates on the U.S. Open. Top and bottom of every hour today, right here on Sactown Sports. That continues with Kettles and Robbie coming up after us at 2 p.m. All right. Sasha Vezenkov, possible Sacramento King.
Mm-hmm.
Now current Greek League champion to go along with the other accolades he has won this year. Came in a really awkward fashion, though. Want to play some audio yesterday. This is in the arena at the Greek League Finals between Olympiacos and I have
no idea. I just call it Papagiannis' team.
There you go. Perfect.
It's Yorgos Papagiannis' team.
Smoke is clearing the arena.
Yeah, smoke fills the arena up.
And there's fires.
And there's an explosion. And there's another one. This is in the middle of a basketball game, by the way.
Absolute chaos. The players are now evacuating the court.
You say evacuating. They're like walking off of the court.
Yeah, this is like apparently normal.
Yeah. No, you know how I know that this is apparently a normal thing? They have nets around the entire floor. Like the fans and the court are separated by a net, which tells me that this has happened before.
It's the most insane part of that to me is, here in the United States, we make big deals about when people say mean things to players or players get guys evacuated because they don't like what they say.
Right.
There's literally explosions going off in the arena.
Right behind their bench, they threw smoke grenades and those loud like if you heard one of those bangs at Golden One Center,
bro, God,
the night is shut down. Like they're not. I mean, and that's what ended up happening.
Games are shut down.
They're doing investigations. There's people getting arrested. Like that was just an everyday Thursday. That's all that was.
So congratulations to Sasha Vezenkov and Olympiacos for winning the Greek League Championship. And it didn't go all 4 quarters. They called off the game.
After 3 quarters, not even through 3 quarters.
And Olympiacos was blowing them out.
And that's why the fans got mad.
Yeah.
They got mad because the team was losing by 30 in the middle of the 3rd quarter. And the fans were like, I'm not going to watch this. Instead of leave like what we see fans in the NBA do, they were like, no. We're not going to be the only ones who leave today. The players need to leave with us as well.
Could you imagine the Kings are down 20, middle of the 3rd in Game 7 against the Warriors? And again, explosions and smoke. Fire start
after
to fill the stands.
After the 12th offensive rebound in that 3rd quarter, I was ready. I was like, all right, who's got the smoke grenade? Because we can go now. We can all leave now. It's okay. Yeah, it's done. Exactly. It's over.
We feel that way. They act upon their feelings.
They're in the words of the youth, they're about that life. They are about that life in Greece and in Europe. They do not mess around when it comes to their sports. And this is why Nikola Jokic, when asked, like, going into these hostile environments, like, do you feel anything going into Staples Crypto.com arena? Like, does that crowd make you nervous? And he's like, I played in Serbia, brother. Like, this is nothing. And this is what Nikola Jokic is talking about. So next season or whenever Sasha comes over, when we ask him, have you ever been in an environment like Golden One Center before?
It'll be no. It'll actually be
actually,
no.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Because I hear there's no explosives in the Golden One Center.
Yeah, he's like, no, this place
imagine?
It's okay.
Oh, you're going into hostile Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They're going to say mean things to you, Sasha. Your thoughts?
They're going to call you European. How's that going to make you feel?
They're going to say you can't play defense and that you're not athletic.
Yeah.
And they might even say something mean about your family.
Does that hurt your feelings? He's like,
no.
No, as long as they're not throwing grenades at me, at my feet, like, I'm chill. It's fine. I've been through worse. And I mean, it does not get worse than that. For for literally explosives to be going off in the middle of the third quarter, I mean, it does not get more hostile than that.
No, and Olympiacos fans, they weren't tripping at all. This is the best part to me. They're gathered, they're happy as crap outside the stadium. And we talk about Sasha Vezenkov, and we always mention him in the context of if he comes over to the Sacramento Kings, he'll be a role player.
Right.
Might even come off the bench.
Yeah.
Over there, he's a god, to the point that thousands of fans lined up after the game try to make out what they're chanting. If not, I'll tell you afterwards, but listen to this. They're chanting. You heard Sacramento in there, right?
I heard Sacramento, and after that, it was just loud banging.
Sasha, stay with Olympiacos and disregard Sacramento is what they're chanting. There's thousands of them chanting to Sasha Vezenkov, screw America.
Yeah, screw America.
Screw the Kings. Screw that NBA payday. We need you here.
I mean, that's their recruiting, right? I mean, like, the Kings have sent the entire organization over to Greece at this point to go watch him play, and that's them fighting back. That's them being like, not like we need you a lot more than they need you.
Very reverse boycott-esque, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this is their version of the boycott, and it's, you know, like, I think there's a real possibility Sasha stays. Like, that love is incredible. I think that love is real.
Ugh.
And, you know, he's a guy who was like, he wasn't like Luka Doncic. He wasn't somebody who was prophesized from youth to be some NBA star. He did not, I don't think he realistically ever expected to be in the NBA. And I think he would be, he's already 27 years or 26, going to be 27 years old. I could see him having a level of comfort over there and still feeling like, why am I going to go over to America to maybe be a bench guy when, again, I'm a EuroLeague MVP?
Can I tell you why? Because you just said
millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars is the biggest factor. I'll dive more into that in a second. But he's accomplished everything but winning the EuroLeague title.
Right.
Just missed out on that this year.
Could not have gotten closer.
Just missed out.
Yeah.
I watched the end of that game.
Yeah.
And it was funny enough is the guy who really kind of, I don't want to say stole it from him. Former King Sergio Rodriguez went off in that game. Was it for Real Madrid? Is that who they played?
Yeah, Real.
Yeah, Real Madrid. And that, you know, that game ended on a heartbreaking shot for Olympiacos. So you had that. That's it.
That's the only reason.
I guess
to me, that's
point,
also the only reason why he would stay. Unfinished business.
To me, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Like, storybook career in Europe, to your point.
Yeah.
Storybook. It's awesome. Yep. But we've seen guys like this who have won the EuroLeague MVP. Like a Nemanja Bjelica is another former Sacramento King. Yep. Great example. I believe was 28 when he signed that 3-year deal with Minnesota.
Yep.
Because you can make so much more money in the NBA, number one. And it doesn't really matter how great you are in Europe from a global perspective.
Sure. Right.
Once you hit NBA, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
So and he's at that age right now where this bag is not going to be there for long.
No.
And you're going to a team that is going to make you look good, by the way. You're going to look really well playing for the Sacramento Kings. And Mike Brown said it best. He fits in there.
Yeah.
He fits in perfectly with what they do. Oh, by the way, after that 3 or 4 years in the NBA where you made some good money and you're now even more known, you go back to Europe.
Exactly.
And you get all that bag over there. Plus, go win the European title after that.
Sure.
EuroLeague.
Right. Yeah, no, I heard Frankie told me the same exact thing, and I think that's genius. Like, I mean, I never even thought about that, but that's really the route that these guys end up going is, yeah, you're right. Like, they come over around this age, and then they'll stay for 4 years, maybe if they can get a second contract like Bogey did, you know, they'll absolutely hang around in the league, but there's no reason why Nemanja Bjelica at 36 was like, yeah, that's perfect. I can go back and I can still, after 8 years of playing in the NBA, I now have all of these new skills that when I take over there, you'll still be a top tier guy. Nikola Mirotic did the same exact thing. And I could see Sasha doing it as well. I agree with you also, though, that this is, to me, it's this year or I have a tough time seeing him coming over if it's not this year because I don't think the Kings will wait for him.
No, that's the biggest thing.
This is the golden opportunity roster wise where they have the opening at Harrison Barnes. Who knows how Sasha's decision will impact the Trey Lyles thing, but I think this is the best opportunity for the Kings to actually game plan Sasha being on the roster and how that will affect them moving forward. Whereas next year, they really can't continue to concern themselves about will or will not this 8th guy off of our bench be coming over. At some point, they're going to have to be like, we can't be thinking about you every single offseason. And so at some point, I think it's going to be this year or we're going to have to trade your rights because, again, we can't keep doing this game of will he, won't he.
And when you talk about trading his rights, if he doesn't come over this year, what are his rights even worth at that point?
I don't know. Right. Because why would any team be convinced that he would ever come over? Mm-hmm. And then what would that, the Kings, I think, acquired him for a 2nd round pick last year, correct? Yeah. So, that's already where his value is out. Right. A late 2nd round pick at that. And you would have to imagine that Sasha's value is way higher for the Kings than what it is to anybody else. Like the Kings have a lot of investment in this guy. They've gone over to watch him play with their own eyes. The Cleveland Cavaliers don't care about Sasha Vezenkov. Like, you're not going to be able to sell other teams on, oh no, I promise this guy's a great catch and shoot guy. Like, nobody's going to view him in the same way that you do. And so to your point, like, I just don't know what his value would even be.
I think he would be very valuable off the Kings bench this season. I also think there's some other players out there, not super big names, that could really help this team. What should the Kings look to do in the offseason with this roster? We're going to focus really on the bench in the next segment, right here on Chris & Co. with Jay Mars on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Live and local, it's Chris & Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Jay Mars, Chris Watkins taking you up until 2 p.m. There's a lot of talk about Bradley Beal after yesterday's tweet from Shams Charania coming over to the Sacramento Kings. We'll get back into that in about an hour. But, Chris, I have been of the opinion for quite some time that I don't think the Kings need to make super dramatic moves this offseason.
Yes, absolutely.
I think you have a really good core in De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. I think you have a potentially budding star in Keegan Murray. And you have some other nice pieces that just fit perfectly with what you're doing. I have thought for the longest time, and I thought this last year, we got to beef up the bench.
Yeah.
We need to find more role players that can come in. And to me, especially at the big man position, I feel like you need another distributor off the bench. You can never get enough shooting, by the way.
Yep.
And so When it comes to some of that stuff, I think we've already broke down in a lot of detail why Sasha Vezenkov would make a great fit off the bench in Sacramento, maybe even a starter. But there's some other names I want to throw your way, and I know you got some too probably in this scenario. I want to start with kind of one that might take people back, but not really. Jerry Reynolds has hinted on this multiple times when he's been on with you and Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Harrison Barnes making a move to the bench, re-signing with Sacramento next year?
I love that move. I think that's like that. If the Kings could have their wish for this offseason, I think if you were to give them truth serum, I think that's what they would really, really want, is to maintain Harrison Barnes, but maintain him at a reasonable enough number that it's not a detriment to keep him on the payroll, but you can also justify either starting him. He can start for maybe the rest of this next season if they can't find that instant replacement for him, but you can realistically bring him off the bench and not have it be like, why are you paying this guy $15 million or whatever it would be to come off your bench, $20 million to come off your bench. I mean, that's just not spending your money,
I don't think those are reasonable numbers for Harrison at this point in his career either. 15, maybe.
I don't know. I really don't. Like, I have no clue what Harrison Barnes' value is on the open market. I know what his theoretical value would be. I would put it probably at like 18 million, which is what he was around last year. Yeah, and I think I'm okay with that. Like, we've seen Harrison Barnes as a $20 million per year guy. We don't like Harrison Barnes as a $20 million per year.
I don't like him as an $18 million per year guy.
I really don't either. No, I mean, and that's starter money. Like, if you're going to be paying him $18 million, that's okay. We know that he's not a star, but that's a start. Like, that's a solidified starter kind of money. And so if the Kings can bring him back at, I think the mid-level exception this year is around 12.5 million, somewhere around there. I like that. And again, gives you the flexibility to bring him off the bench. Doesn't completely hamstring you either in terms of bringing in other guys or bringing in, just a forwards by committee, maybe even. I think that's a lot. That's where I would definitely want the Kings to land this offseason.
Yeah, I think for Harrison, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I think he is at this point in his career around 12.5 million, which is, by the way, not a bad payday given all the money he's already made.
No.
And if you could bring him there at, maybe a 3-year deal with a team option in the third year.
Sure.
So he's guaranteed 12.5. So what, 25 million over 2? That's not bad.
No.
And that's not a bad guy to bring off your bench. I've for the longest time, I think he'll thrive off the bench. At this point in his career,
I wonder.
I think there's less disappearing in that situation.
So that's the thing. Is like, it's tough for me to figure out if you give him less minutes, does that mean that he'll try and seize those minutes more? Or if you give him less minutes, is that taking him even longer to get engaged, if that makes sense? Like, is playing him extended minutes the only way to get production, because you have to play him those minutes to find the pockets of production, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
And that's really my fear, is that maybe if he's coming off the bench and he's only getting 15 to 25 minutes in a game.
I think 25 minutes is actually good for him.
I think 25 is around probably where he should live for the next couple years. If he's getting that, my fear is just, is he just not showing up in those bench minutes because he's coming out and he's not really locked in? It's going to take him a second to really get into the groove of the game and find his pockets to really find impact.
When we talk about adding with the Kings, I think Barnes is definitely the first domino one way or another that needs to fall before 100%. We start getting into other free agents.
Yeah.
Couple guys. I know the Kings looked at this one during the trade deadline last year. I actually think he fits in well off the bench here, is Plumlee.
Plumlee, I love it. I really was a big fan of Plumlee. I think he does a lot of things that Domantas Sabonis does, not necessarily even close to the same level of production, but like when you look at a guy who's one of the better screen assist guys in the league, which is a sticky stat, I guess, a little bit. But he's also a guy who gets a ton of regular assists as well. You can really, to me, the thing that the Kings need to find, and the thing that I think they were searching for and couldn't find in a bench guy last year, is someone that they can just continue to run the same Domas offense with.
100% was where I was going with that.
Yeah. I mean, like, you throw out Rashawn Holmes, he can't run like Domas. That's a lot more pick and roll. Metu tried to do it, didn't really work out. He was more of a pick and roll guy. Alex Len, same thing. To me, they need to find a guy where
it was to the point where your best backup center was Trey Lyles last year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. And it was more just because he gave him a different look of a stretch three. Yeah, it wasn't even giving the same type of offense. It was just, this is a different look that we can give you that's still productive.
And to me, that's the real value in Plumlee, is being able to consistently run the same offense for 48 minutes.
Exactly.
The same exact look. It helps the bench players especially be more productive in that sense.
Right.
You know? And when you talk about if we're going into next season and Davion Mitchell is your backup point guard, right? Right now, Davion's not a distributor. And I really
we can get to that spot. Trust me, I've got a lot of thoughts.
And we really, really, really saw that when they did not have Domas on the floor, it was bad, dude.
It was terrible.
And love Malik Monk. Don't think that's where he's suited best, and he was probably your next best distributor.
That's exactly what I was saying the entire postseason, especially in that Game 7. That's what stuck out most to me. When the Kings couldn't make buckets, the only people who could create their own shot was obviously De'Aaron Fox. It was Malik Monk as the second option. As you mentioned, didn't go well. But then Keegan Murray was the third option, and that's great for Keegan, but that was also speaking a lot about the lack of shot creation for not only themselves, but for other guys as well as a distributor. Like, the Kings had nowhere else to go when Domas was completely taken out of the offense.
And I always thought Malik was at his best when he was playing the two-man game with Domas.
Exactly.
Now you give him a consistent two-man game to play. I think it would elevate Malik that much more. I think it would really help Davion if that's your backup point guard, because he doesn't have to worry about handling the ball, which is not his game on offense.
No.
If anything, you just kind of want him to develop more into a catch-and-shoot guy, which would elevate him significantly. So I think Plumlee, to me, should be a huge target. You mentioned the point guard spot. What were your thoughts there?
I just think, like you mentioned earlier, they need a distributor. They need somebody that they can put the ball in their hand and can either create a shot for themselves or preferably for others, but somebody that's a steadying presence that you can put the ball in their hand and just not really be concerned about how the offense is going to run. Like, it'll still run smoothly, and Davion's just not that guy, and Malik is just a little bit too aggressive looking for his own shot to have the ball in his hands that much. There's really not many of those guys out there. I mean, everyone's kind of looking for a bench guy who can give that kind of production. Trey Jones is a restricted free agent. San Antonio's been rumored to have interest in Chris Paul. If that goes down, I'm incredible. Like we talked about Tyus. To me, Trey Jones is, I mean, they're brothers, but they are cut from the same cloth.
Sure.
And, I can see Tyus Jones to me is an elite level backup point guard.
Tyus Jones is a starting point guard in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's just happens to be in a backup role right now.
And to me, Trey is on the
very
same projection.
Tyrese Maxey-esque a couple years ago.
Yes, very much so. Just waiting for opportunity. And once he gets it, I already know he's going to shine. But yeah, if the Kings can snag Trey Jones, to me, that's a phenomenal pickup. But I'm sure he's going to be much coveted. Javon Carter is somebody who's interesting. Maybe, we talked about if the Bradley Beal kind of thing goes through, or if the Kings make another move that ships off Davion Mitchell, bringing in a guy of a similar kind of mold, a defensive first point guard. Javon Carter is a little bit bigger, 6'2", and provides some strength, and also is a little bit older, so just a little more strength. Built a little bit bigger than Davion, or Patrick Beverley as well.
That was the one. I was going to ask you that. We got to go to break.
Yeah.
But are you in on Patrick Beverley if you made other moves and you needed a backup point guard?
Yes, because to me also he brings a level of doggedness that the Kings also just don't have. I mean, we can look at that Bucks game, that Bucks scuffle at the end of that game. Trey Lyles was really the one who was the Kings instigator in that situation, and really him and Malik are the only two guys that I really see bring that certain level of energy that I just think every team needs, especially if you're going to find success in the postseason. I think you need a guy to kind of who just creates energy, and Patrick Beverley
creates a lot of energy.
Yeah, he's the epitome of that.
Dude, could you imagine him in those post-game pictures that they take after wins? Can you imagine him when it's his turn to light the beam?
Yes.
He'll break the beam button.
Yeah, yes, he's going to be somebody who breaks their hand trying to slap that button.
All right, we'll get more into the Kings a little bit later on today, but yesterday, I'm not a big championship parade guy. But
really?
The Denver Nuggets championship parade was must-see TV. Yes. Michael Malone, Nikola Jokic. You'll hear from them both next right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
In
was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The Coach of the Year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The Clutch Player of the Year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, you'll be able to chat with us from space. Maybe you're asking, why are you spending time on insurance in space? Shouldn't you be sculpting something out of moon rocks or jumping around with no gravity? Insurance seems more like a back on Earth kind of thing, right? Actually, in the future, space is no big deal. Errands are totally appropriate.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back this summer. Catch 6 games of NBA action and fun for the whole family when the California Classic Summer League returns on July 3rd and 5th. The Kings will host the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, and newly added San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets with the number 1 and number 2 NBA draft picks. 2-day passes start at just $42 and include access to all 6 games. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Oh, he's back.
Who's back?
The clown.
The naked one?
Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia.
Does he want to trade it in?
No, he wants to show it off.
Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Grove Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia. Great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Like the hottest all-electric EV in the market, the luxurious EV6. Save big with lease specials of $10,000 below MSRP. Not just 1 or 2, but every EV6 in stock. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your EV6 today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Can confirm what the voice guy said. We are live at YouTube right now. Both of our pretty faces, Jay Mars, Chris Watkins, Chris and Co. Taking you until 2 p.m. Real quickly, want to get to a U.S. Open leaderboard update. Of course, all of Sactown Sports U.S. Open coverage is brought to you by our friends at Naturewood Home Furnishing, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Not a whole lot changing there at the top of the leaderboard. Wyndham Clark through 12 continues to sit atop at -9, -3 today. The two guys right behind him, Ricky Fowler, Xander Schauffele, tee off at 132 and 154 respectively, both sitting at a -8. We'll be giving you U.S. Open updates throughout the show, top and bottom of every hour. Dare I say this? The winner of the U.S. Open will not receive a parade similar to one that the Denver Nuggets received yesterday.
I would probably watch a lot more golf if it involved parades and the golfers getting absolutely blasted the way that Mike Malone was yesterday.
Are you implying that our dearest former Sacramento Kings head coach, Michael Malone, may have had a libation yesterday?
I cannot confirm or deny it. May or may not have been shown directly on television, him killing a bottle of Fireball, but
do we know it was Fireball in the bottle?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was pretty obvious that it was Fireball.
Can we get to some of Michael Malone's greatest hits from yesterday?
Please.
Again, we're not insinuating the former coach, Kings coach, was hammered. We're going to let you decide.
You know what? That's fair. Let the people decide.
Here's him talking about wanting to win more championships.
What a great day to celebrate a championship, but we're not done yet. We some greedy baby. We some greedy. We're getting another one. And I'm out.
And I'm out. Dude, Michael Malone yesterday was giving such big like rapper vibes almost.
Dude,
like
people were calling him Paul Wall.
Yes, like big, like he was really carrying himself like he was like the biggest rapper in 2008 or something like that. By the way, that instrumental you were playing, that was like the most 2005, 2008 beat I've ever heard in my life.
It came out. I guess that not long after that. Do you know what that was?
No,
that's E40 and Shawty Low, King of Bankhead.
Sounds like it. Yeah, sounds like it.
R.I.P.
Yeah, that was a great beat. That was all I was thinking the entire update.
Dude, Michael Malone, not just head coach of the Denver Nuggets, but was apparently stepping into a general manager role yesterday while at the podium. Here's him talking about if Bruce Brown will be back.
This is incredible.
Is Brucey B going anywhere? Hell no. Hell no. Hey, we running it back. We running it back. Oh, yeah. Come on. Get loud.
Again, we'll let you decide if the coach was hammered.
I need that cut. I need that. Hell no. Hell no. Watching it back to you have to watch it. If you have not seen how he looks when he's doing it too, like he's got, it must have been a player's chain. There's no way that was his chain, but he's got this like roped out silver iced out chain on. He's got some shades that, just your typical black shade,
hiding his sober eyes,
hiding his face. Got his also the hat, the championship hat. They're all wearing the 2023 finals hat. It's like slightly to the right, and he's just like I said, just big 2008 rapper.
When's
vibes.
the mixtape coming out?
Hell no. Hell no.
Michael Malone's mixtape, who has features on it? Because like you said, really big 2008 vibes.
Oh, man.
Yin Yang Twins.
Yin Yang Twins for sure.
Them Franchise Boys.
Them Franchise Boys. Got to have one with Lil Jon.
Absolutely.
Got to have at least one. T-Pain got to be featured on one.
Juicy J.
Yeah. Lil Wayne, if he's got the money.
He's got the money.
I think Wayne is a Nuggets fan, weirdly enough. So
no, I don't even think Wayne would charge for that feature.
No, there's no way. Yeah, I mean that would just be that'd be incredible. Could we get an E40 like an E40 collab? That'd be great.
Nah, 40's not collab
that's true.
with Denver,
yeah, that's
bro.
true, huh? Well, he didn't directly take out the Warriors, so maybe.
Nah, I don't think 40's down like that. So he wasn't the only one that was having a good time. If you remember after the NBA Finals, Nikola Jokic wasn't like super thrilled with the idea of the parade.
You said after the Lakers win, you said you were surprised that you didn't feel more. So I'm curious what you are feeling right now And if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home.
Dude, I relate to that so much. I relate to that so much. Me and Jokic are one and the same.
Malone, or excuse me, Jokic, is that dad between 28 and 38. That is just like, dude, I'm not going out. I don't have time for that. I got to spend time with my wife, my kids. Like, bro, I'm tired. I just had a long work week.
I would love to go golfing on Thursday, but I want to go home, honestly.
Nikola Jokic, also the same guy who finally gets pulled in by his friends, gets out, has a couple, and then this part of them comes out.
Thank you, though. You know that I told that I don't want to stay on parade, but you want to stay on parade. This is the part. This is amazing. This is we're all gonna remember this our whole lives, and when we see you guys that came out of the streets, and actually this one is for you. We love you, Denver. This one is for you. Thank you, guys.
I also want to stay on parade. I would also love to stay on parade.
True or false? Nikola Jokic, at our age, most relatable player in the NBA.
Yes, 1,000%. Jokic is just like, I'm here because they pay me, and after that, I just want to go home. And I want to stay on parade.
Yeah, you get out finally, right? You have a couple drinks.
You're like, this is awesome. Why don't I always do this? Yeah, invite me anytime you guys are going out.
Anytime
just
parade.
Let me know.
Anytime
parade. I parade. I want to stay on parade. And then they ask you out the next time, and you're like, I just want to go home, man.
Guys,
Honestly,
that was really fun that night, but I don't have the energy to do that on a consistent basis.
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of like a 1-year thing, you know. I just, I can't be asked. That's all Jokic vibes.
All right, so we had the Malone audio. We had the Jokic audio.
That was Mike Malone, by the way, that we saw yesterday. Yeah. I know, like, Michael is the professional basketball coach. Mike Malone is the guy that was at the parade.
Mike
yesterday.
Malone is one of the homies.
Yeah, for sure. That's why he was like, don't call me Mike, because he's like, only though if you know me, if you know me, you can call me Mike.
Quickly, how would you rate their comments, both Malone and Jokic, with this one?
Draymond, you are such a
Klay Thompson. Splash Brothers. Cavaliers. No. We won. They suck. We here. They not. No.
Thank you, Draymond.
No, seriously, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Draymond. Seriously.
I'm sorry, that's still the best.
That's the greatest piece of audio that I think has ever been, like, ever seen this earth. That is my favorite. I love Draymond. That is also like, you can decide for yourself how Draymond's feeling in that moment. Because
listen,
man,
bro,
oh man,
my friend, as someone who has enjoyed the Hennessy
that's
in my time, I know exactly what mode Draymond was in right there.
That's a anything is possible
that
kind
is
of vibe.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Kind of vibe. Shout out to the Nuggets, man. Yeah. Thank you for putting on quite the entertaining parade for us yesterday.
That one went down for the history books. Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Coming up next, Chris Watkins. Kyle Shanahan.
Oh boy.
Has a secret. And George Kittle tells it. We'll play the audio and talk about it next right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Every week getting to talk to Kenneth Cornelius Thomas.
Oh my God, he busts out the whole name.
Hey, come on.
Special show. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to coming back next year. Hopefully we can keep this going. I enjoyed being on here with nothing, dude. Cut that out. Don't make me reach through this phone, man.
You're in New Mexico. I can talk garbage.
Hey, I know where you live. I'll find out.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Pain is not normal. Repeat, pain is not normal. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here with the Good Feet Store. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the workday and the pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back is unrelenting. Good Feet understands that you've likely already tried assorted remedies and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet Store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports. With arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free, no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic is a celebrity pro-am golf tournament, a $1 million hole-in-one contest, a skins game, a celebrity draft party, and a concert featuring the Atlanta Rhythm Section. The Gold Rush Classic raises money for Make-A-Wish, Jordan's Guardian Angels, First Tee of Sacramento, Rancho Murrieta Youth Sports, and other worthwhile children's charities. The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun, raise money for charity, and play golf with a celebrity like Barnes, Fernandez, Jackson, Lloyd, Merriweather, Ostertag, Polynice, Sharp, Schumann, and our own Greg Vaughn. Golf and concert sponsorships are still available at goldrushclassic.org. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic is sponsored by Adrian Blanco Jewelry, your family jeweler in Folsom. Voted Style Magazine Reader's Choice Best Local Business 3 years in a row.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. And why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
The City of Sacramento offers rebates to help with your outdoor water saving projects this season. Rebates are available for landscape conversions, smart controllers, and irrigation upgrades that improve your water efficiency. Learn more at SacWaterWise.com.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Stepped all over it. Amateur hour here at Sactown Sports.
I was like, have you ever done this before?
Clearly not.
Come on, DJ.
We're going to get to George Kittle revealing Kyle Shanahan's little secret in 2 minutes. But Chris, you told me during the break that it looks like the Nuggets parade, at least from the player standpoint, made its way to Vegas last night. Yeah. Jokic was there as well.
Yeah, the party goes on for the Denver Nuggets, which I love. I'm all in support of it. I mean, we all remember shirtless JR went on for 2 weeks straight before JR eventually ended up putting on a shirt.
Dude, Jokic really liked parade.
Yeah, no, he really liked parade, and he still parade. There's a video that is circulating of the Nuggets partying it up in Vegas last night at the Hakkasan Club, which I can't remember which hotel that's at in Vegas, but
the tall one.
Yeah, sure. It's the entire team out there, but Jokic is front and center, doing his best like Shaq impression, DJ Diesel impression there. Looks great. Looks like a great time.
Mitch, if there's ever a parade for a championship in New Jersey, are you attending and are you enjoying the libations?
How's it going, guys? Let me pull over. I was personally at a bar eating some food.
I hear you.
It's too crowded. Anyway, I love all the possibilities for the Kings. I think Zion will be that'd be worth that gamble.
Zion?
I hope they go. Zion.
Wow.
And then hiring Fox with Beal, that would be an awesome backcourt. But I think the middle of the road is get rid of Harrison Barnes and Holmes, trade him for Tobias Harris. When he does show up, he plays pretty well. But he's another one that you know what you get. It's like a box of chocolates. Anyway, thanks for taking my call, guys. I'm in and out of this FedEx truck.
Oh, it's all good, Mitch. Hope you have a good weekend, sir.
You too. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Thanks, Mitch. We'll get to the Harris stuff later because I actually think that is intriguing. I don't think they can make a Zion, Sabonis, Fox, Beal.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough money to make that work.
Tobias, there may be something to that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show today. All right, George Kittle, one of my favorite 49ers in the media because George will talk. George has no problem stating his opinion. George has no problem letting team secrets out. He was asked about, like, what is this thing Kyle Shanahan does where he could just create these amazing plays? And this is what George had to say.
Kyle has this thing where, like, if he wants to set up like a play action or a bootleg type of pass, sometimes he'll just call a run play that he knows is not going to work. I can't remember what game this was. I want to say it might have been like the Vikings one year, Seattle this year. But like we're running a run play multiple times and it's averaging like 2 yards a carry, 2 yards a carry, 2 yards a carry. And then we threw a play action behind it and Debo goes for 75 yards against Seattle. And the whole thing is set up because it's the exact same motion. It's the exact same alignment. It looks the exact same. And all of a sudden Debo's running the shallow. I'm faking like on the defensive end. Linebacker thinks it's power. He steps up 4 yards and Debo's uncovered in the flat running for a touchdown. So it's just stuff like that that's really fun because, I mean, Kyle Shanahan, he's like, hey, if I can get my skill players the ball with field, like with space in front of them, whether it's Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, we're all running for days. And that's what's really fun because we have such a great yak team. And that's one thing that we always talk about. So he can scheme us up open, and it's really fun to be a part of that offense.
Chris, just gonna be 100% honest here. Don't feel like that was a secret.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody who watches 49ers football over the last 4 or 5 seasons, that's just the offense.
Right. The interesting thing, because Kyle Shanahan has kind of not been accused of wasting plays, but like I just wonder if, like, is it worth it? Because I think it's definitely worth it. I mean, later in that clip,
clearly
Kittle talks about how it unlocks the defense, and it truly does do that, where you're setting things up, you're putting something in the defense's mind just to eventually set them up to think that they're doing what you've been doing, only to set something up further.
I feel like that's just kind of normal scheming, though.
It kind of is,
right?
A little bit, yeah. It definitely is a little bit. Like, but I think Shanahan does it better than anybody else.
Well, that's because I think Shanahan tweaks it all the time. Like, it's never, he's set up. But that big potential play that Kittle talks about there, where he gets it to one of the skill players and they have this amazing ability to get yards after the catch. Yeah. I feel like that play is tweaked every year. It's something different every year. Yeah. And I think that's more or less what keeps the defense on their heels. Yeah. Because they don't run the same big plays. They're always different. But they do have a similar setup to where they establish the run game.
Right.
And, he talks about the days where it's like, it's 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards. But they also have a tendency to set up the run game with 5 yards and 6 yards because they have really good running back.
Great running back.
And really good running schemes.
And depth as well. Yeah.
Well, that's just the depth. I mean, we talk about McCaffrey now, but I mean, the guy has made, great years for Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell's still on the roster.
Fifth round pick. Fifth round pick. We saw it with Matt Breida. We saw it Raheem Mostert. I mean, guys that
the
are just
entire Dolphins backfield.
Yes,
Yeah.
average running backs thrive there.
Yeah.
But it does go kind of, to me, it does just highlight the bigger point of this offense. If you just have a quarterback that can throw the ball 20 yards accurately,
right,
you're going to be a Pro Bowler in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Right.
That is always why I've leaned on this idea that, dude, Jimmy Garoppolo's not a good quarterback.
Right. Shanahan's offense does a lot of heavy lifting.
A lot of heavy lifting. And people will point to, like, look at Jimmy's numbers. Like, look at, the big one they always say with Jimmy when you talk about is wins.
Right. QB wins, which he does have a good record.
Which completely
masks
all of the context of, my God, the guy has some of the best skill players around him in the game.
Yeah.
Also
and
has
a great coach who's setting
him up. And when you talk about, like, his passer rating, dude, Jimmy Garoppolo, look at yards, total yards versus yards after the catch.
Yeah.
It tells the entire story.
Right, or air yards, yeah.
That's why I think Brock Purdy coming in, like, dude, do I think Brock Purdy is this, like, spectacular quarterback? I don't. But he runs that offense to a T.
Yeah.
And he has the arm strength to get the ball downfield to players and let them go to work, and he's not going to make a ton of mistakes.
To me, that's the thing right there that makes Purdy the best option that they've had. It is his decision making. He seems to always, and granted, we haven't even seen 16 full games out of him, so he's got time to make these mistakes. But from what we saw from him, he just always seemed to know when to make the right risk. And a lot of the Shanahan offense is, like Kittle points out, it's set up more for yak than for actual air yards. But we saw Brock Purdy last year.
He can air it out.
He aired it out. And it really, Kittle talks about unlocking the offense. To me, Brock Purdy unlocks another element of the offense, is the deep ball, because sometimes you can lock in even on trying to keep guys in front of you. Maybe you understand that the 49ers offense is built around yak, and you're like, okay, let them get the catch, but don't let them get any further past that. And then when you're able to take the top off the defense, that makes the offense almost, I don't want to say unstoppable, but that just adds so many different layers that it's just, as a defense, like, you can't keep all of these weapons and all of these different, all of these different defensive rules in your head, and also try and, be reactionary and live in the moment and analyze everything down. Like, Shanahan is literally trying to break defenses. And to me, Brock Purdy, he does something that, maybe Trey Lance has the arm capacity to do, but the decision making, the ability to know when to make those throws. That's the big thing with
Trey. He doesn't have enough experience for us to trust his decision making yet.
Yeah.
I think it's really unfair to close the door on him as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But with Brock, I think that's why everybody, when it comes to fans, or why you hear Lynch and Shanahan to a degree kind of sort of pseudo say he's the number one.
Everyone.
We have a sort of small game sample size, but there were some big games in that small sample size. Brock Purdy makes the right decision. And when you go off, because I thought Jimmy would make some of the most bonehead plays in the world, especially when he was trying to get the ball 20 yards or more, you already knew something bad was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you see Purdy come in and be like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
I have all these really good guys. I don't have to do too much. No. And so I think that's why everybody's on board with him being the number one right now. Yeah. But I do want to point out, man, Trey Lance, everything. I don't make a whole lot of what people say during OTAs and during training camp, because everybody talks nice about their players at that point. But it would be interesting to see, though, Lance with a full season under him. I just think the Niners are in such a win now mode that they're like, Brock is our best option right now.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about Lance is for the future of the 49ers, to me, having Trey Lance work out and being able to work through that is the best possible route, because I think that the ceiling for Trey Lance is so much greater than anything else. The tools, if he can figure it out, that's the solution for the 49ers long term, absolutely. But the problem with that is, like you're laying out, you have to go through a lot of in real time, in game failures, some adjustments, some successes as well. But you have to go through a lot of the process in real time in order to get to the other side of that promised land. And the 49ers, not really unfortunately, but with the way that the 49ers are set up right now, they can't waste this opportunity. No. And so they need to throw in a guy who's ready right now and that Kyle Shanahan can trust to make decisions just this year and get this team to where they want to go.
Speaking of ready for right now, that's where the Portland Trailblazers seem to think they are with Damian Lillard. Plus, there's a new man in the front office in Golden State. How will that affect their core? We'll break it down next on Chris & Co. Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Amy's Outdoor Living, now in Sacramento and El Dorado Hills. They're your grilling headquarters with smoking hot deals. Get it? Smoking hot deals on Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg barbecues, plus the professional grade Gosney pizza ovens for Father's Day. That's right, for Father's Day, not dads and grads. Father's Day. Save up to $600 on Traeger Timberline models. Save up to $100 on Weber Genesis. Stop in and see all the in-store offers they have. And oh, by the way, free setup and delivery, which is a huge help. Save up to 40% on select in-store patio furniture and umbrellas. Their umbrella shipment just arrived with many colors, sizes, and shapes. It's all at Amy's Outdoor Living, El Camino near Watt, and inside Amy Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center. Just tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-458-8822. 800-458-8822.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Are you one of those players that finishes a round, takes off your golf shoes, and dumps them in your car trunk? Golf Digest says you can extend the life of your shoes with just a bit of care. Use a little warm water and maybe a drop of soap to wipe away any dirt after your round. Actually, I just wipe mine with a wet towel when I take them off, and they stay looking like new. Also use shoe trees to maintain their shape and keep the insides dry. If you have more than one pair, rotate them so you don't wear the same shoes 2 days in a row. Change your spikes because new spikes will help you get more traction for your faster than necessary swing. And with Sacramento's hot summers, give your shoes a break and don't leave them in the trunk of your car. That will suck the life right out of them. With so many brands, styles, and colors on the market today, you can certainly find the right pair for your personality and your game. When you think about it, golf shoes are really part of your equipment. Treat them well. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Warriors got a new GM. Dame Lillard staying in Portland. We'll get to that in 1 minute, but right now we need to give you a U.S. Open update. Of course, all of Sactown Sports U.S. Open coverage brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. We do have a change atop the leaderboard. Wyndham Clark now down to -8. That puts him in a 3-way tie with Xander Schauffele and Ricky Fowler. Looks like Clark is through 13, and Fowler and Schauffele tee off at 132 and 154. So we got some movement finally. Clark had been sitting atop there for most of the morning, but hey, we might have a good little U.S. Open final coming up on Sunday.
Hey, that's when I'll be tuning in. So, yeah, I mean, I heard that Rory had a beautiful drive down the first tee on Thursday. So I'll definitely be tuning in to
Rory's
Rory.
sitting at +1 through 10 right now.
Yeah, I'll be. That's really my big interest. I'm still a big name guy for golf. Like I can't get in. I need to watch the. I heard that the Netflix show is great.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
I think that's going to be a good entrance point for me in terms of just figuring out more names. I mean, I know all of the bigger names in golf, but I've just had a tough time following the stories. I mean, you know, when Tiger was humming, obviously I was watching every weekend.
Isn't that everybody?
Right. I mean, which is so strange, right? Isn't it weird?
It's not.
I think it is though. Like we all watched the sport and then collectively agreed when he's not in it, we're just not going to watch it. Like
it's because he's the greatest of all time.
But it's just weird that we never like gleaned on to other guys, like, you know, just by watching through osmosis.
His
like,
name is
I kind of like
Tiger.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
And he was dominating at like
better than
12.
Yeah, facts.
Dude was like the Doogie Howser of golf. That's why we clammed onto him.
He really was. That's a great comp.
You know who was supposed to be great in the NBA, but just turned out average, played 15 seasons? Mike Dunleavy Jr., former number 3 pick of the Golden State Warriors.
Was he really picked by the Warriors?
Picked at 3.
Wow, what a full circle moment.
You don't remember that Dunleavy stint in Golden State, huh?
I don't actually know.
My only Dunleavy memories is of just DeMarcus Cousins hating him.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think he might have been DeMarcus's number 1 least favorite player in the NBA.
It's him or Chris Paul.
Yeah. Oh my God. I forgot about the Chris Paul beef too. That's incredible. And then, you know what I think about when I think of Mike Dunleavy Jr., something that's kind of gotten lost in history. You remember when Giannis just like ran him over in the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah. That's like,
and he didn't die.
Yeah, no, he didn't. I mean, Giannis literally like barrels through Mike Dunleavy, and that is what I remember most about Mike Dunleavy's career.
Mike Dunleavy Jr., the new GM, he'll be replacing Bob Myers, who was there for years in Golden State. Looked at by many as the architect that built those title teams. Absolutely. He was the Draymond whisperer from all, you know.
Yeah.
And that kind of gets me to the point now is we know Dunleavy's been in the front office there. He's been under Myers. The team is obviously very familiar with him. I wonder, I'd imagine that this move was signed off by that core, right? Like,
at least by one of them. Yeah, I mean, at least by Steph for sure. Like, I don't know if they still give Draymond the say, but because, you know, he could be a looming free agent if he opts out of his deal. But I would have to believe that, yeah, at least Steph Curry was consulted and asked, like, is this terrible? Like, do you hate this idea? You know, you can't make all of your decisions based around those guys, especially at their age. But yeah, they probably had to have been consulted, at least one or two of them.
So, and then on top of that, because I agree with you, I don't think Joe Lacob makes that move without talking to his franchise cornerstones. Like, that's just, it's very well known in NBA circles that there are certain guys in an organization that are players that have a say in hirings. Yeah. It's just a fact.
Right. It just is. Yeah. It's part of the game.
Do you think he wants to keep the core intact there and work around it? And will he have the same success communicating with this core as Bob Myers did? Because that to me is the biggest question mark in this scenario.
Yeah. I think Dunleavy, an internal hire, being named the GM is a good sign for the Warriors keeping the core together. Because I think naturally, if you bring a guy from the outside, they're going to look at the situation and say, why are we paying Klay Thompson $40 million a year when he's a Kevin Huerter, essentially? And Kevin Huerter makes 15. Like, that just doesn't make financial sense. Draymond Green, $27 million player option. If he were to opt into that, like, I'm not re-signing Draymond Green for $30 million or whatever he wants.
Well, he wants a 4 year. I mean, he wants a max deal for 4 years at his age. Like, that's not a thing.
That's not happening if an outsider comes in. But a guy from the inside and a guy who just got this job
has an emotional attachment. I think that's the big thing.
Exactly.
Has an emotional attachment to this core.
Exactly. Understands what this core means to this specific team and what it would mean if those guys aren't there. I think it's almost, and Draymond said immediately after being eliminated when talking about what he would decide ultimately, said that Bob Myers staying would all but guarantee him staying. And if Bob Myers weren't going to be there, that's when he would have to evaluate the situation. I could see Draymond leaving. I really could see Draymond kind of viewing this as the beginning of the end. And me and Whitey have talked in the past about how, Klay Thompson's contract's up after next year.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr's contract is up after next year, and he's missed games because of injury. And also, maybe he's ready to move up into the front office. Steph Curry, he's got a couple years left on his deal, but is he going to want to stick around in Golden State if they're not competing for titles? If Klay's not there, if Draymond's not there, if they're in a rebuilding phase? I don't know. I mean, I think Dunleavy's got some tough decisions to make, but I think part of Dunleavy trying to keep his job moving forward is going to be trying to appease that core that we're talking about. I think that's the easiest route for Dunleavy to keep his job, which is really all that GMs are trying to do. Right. It's about maintaining your job, not necessarily winning a championship always.
And Joe Lacob, the owner of the Warriors, basically come out and said, we're going to spend money. We're going to compete.
Right.
So the other side, we talk about that core and that emotional attachment. I don't think he'd have the same emotional attachment that Myers would.
Mm-mm.
So have him and Lacob had conversations about, hey, I know you want to spend money and compete, but we can't give the type of money to Klay that he wants next year. I thought Klay towards the end of the season started to really come back into form, but Klay's never going to be what he was at his peak.
No.
You cannot give him max money. Draymond, you cannot give him max money.
Nowhere even near max money.
And so I don't know. We kind of know where Draymond's head's at. I don't know where Klay's head's at there. I think they're comfortable keeping and building around Steph, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so is it going to be Steph is the core piece, and Mike, we trust you to put better pieces around him, get off of these aging pieces?
Yeah.
Or like you said, is it we're so emotionally attached to these guys that we're going to ride or die with this? It's going to be a super interesting scenario in Golden State the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got to shake it up. Like, they can't – I mean, Steve Kerr flat out said it at the end of their series, we maxed out this team. Like, and if your head coach feels like this roster has been maxed out, that means that next year you better have some real adjustments to that roster. And whether that's Draymond or whether that's trading Jordan Poole and Kuminga, like, to me, Dunleavy's got to do something immediately to make this team better and make it better, like significantly better next year. And that's going to be tough. I mean, I don't
plus the chemistry issues.
Chemistry issues, right? I mean, and if Draymond's not there, like, how does that affect their fire? Draymond is obviously a spiritual leader of that team. Will they be able to will it feel just different without him there? That's assuming he's not going to be there. I think that it's a really tough, it's almost an impossible situation to walk into because of everything we've laid out. There's an emotional attachment, but there's also very real financial things. And then there's things that are just from an objective, again, like from an objective perspective, you would have to look at and say, I know that we have these emotional connections, but we just cannot operate this way only because these guys are important to us, because that's guaranteed failure. If you're going to act emotionally in this job of being a GM, you're not going to survive.
Agreed.
And it's a tough situation for him to walk into, but it's also obviously a great one because you have a terrific coach. You have a fantastic superstar to build around. So I don't feel bad for Mike Dunleavy, but man, oh man, does he have some choices he's got to make really soon.
Speaking of emotional attachments, I feel like that's what's going on in Portland with Dame Lillard right now.
My God, man.
You have...
What are you doing? This is case in point.
Yeah, there needs to be a shakeup in Portland. Duh.
Yeah.
Captain Obvious here. I understand that.
You would think Captain Obvious, right?
I have said for a while now, you have the number 3 pick, which is a good chance to be Scoot Henderson.
Yep.
Who I feel like is going to be a generational guy in this league.
Same.
Shaedon Sharpe is there, and he showed that, man, this guy's got some real potential to be something, right?
Yeah.
And you could get off of Dame and get a nice return.
I don't
for
even
him.
know what you'll get from. I mean, he's 33 years old. Like you'll get something.
assets.
Yeah, you'll get something for him for sure. Something real helpful.
Brian Windhorst of ESPN says not so fast, and that it looks like the Portland Trailblazers are going to be looking to use some of these young assets of their number 3 pick to put a perennial number 2 around Dame. Chris, I've tried to do this math in my head for a while.
I just don't get it.
I don't think there's a number 2 on the market that makes them a title contender, because at this point, that is legitimately what you are doing.
Yeah.
There is no, we're putting another playoff contender around Dame.
Yeah.
You have to put a title contender around him.
Title.
Who is that guy that is likely available in the trade market?
The Portland Trailblazers, just flat out, point blank period, are not a star away or a secondary guy away from a title.
I'm not crazy, right?
They didn't make the play-in tournament last year. Like they've been bad. What
and that was after
do we have in Chauncey?
By the way, that was after retooling last year to make the playoffs. That was
they
their whole
brought in
offseason. Jeremy Grant.
That was the whole point, was to make the playoffs last year. Couldn't even make the play in. And they're expecting, this is malpractice. This is
dumb.
This is what we were exactly laying out right there with Golden State. Like when you act emotionally, when you're so dedicated to making sure Damian Lillard is a Blazer for life, instead of actually looking at the best intentions of your organization and the future of your organization, you're going to make a dumb mistake like this and lock up a team that, I mean, let's say they even trade the number 3 pick for, who's the best? Jaylen Brown. Let's say that's the move. And they bring in Jaylen Brown next
Plus
year.
salary filler and all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
sure. And who knows what you would be sending out on top of number 3 to make the finances work. That's not a title team.
No.
It's not even close. You have so many more pieces you need to work on.
Tatum and Brown work because they have all the ancillary pieces around them.
Exactly.
And I've looked at it like realistic trade options I've done in my head. Pascal Siakam, does that?
Karl Anthony Towns?
And there's people that are like, man, Lillard and Towns. I'm like, dude.
How about Beal? Like, even then, it's
because
how's that different than CJ?
Because I was just going to say, we've seen how the 2-star guard lineup works there. Now, Beal's better than CJ.
Yes.
But he's not propel you to the NBA Finals.
No.
Pascal Siakam and Dame is not going to the NBA Finals. Dame and Cat not going to the NBA Finals.
It's not.
It's not ridiculous, but
I just
hey,
don't
man.
understand it. I do not
As a
understand.
Kings fan, I love it.
Yeah, right. As a Kings fan, I'm like, yeah, for sure. Go ahead, try and build. You guys at best will be you're not jumping from a 10 seed to you're not doing what the Kings did last year. You're not going to be a 3 seed next year. I guarantee you that. I don't see how you don't look at this situation, and you gotta tell Dame, like, hey man, like we can work something out with you. Where do you want to go? But to me, Damian Lillard, if you're going to move on from either 3 or Dame, you got to move on from Dame, because like you said, Scoot Henderson can be a generational prospect
for years that you have locked up.
For years. We're talking the next 15 years. You can have
your next
Scoot
Dame.
Henderson, your next Dame, or you can have Dame for 3 more years.
Yeah.
And
not get him the title. Which is the only reason.
Not get him the title. And then after that, you could go into, let me tell you, you can go into a 16-year playoff drought pretty easily after that.
Don't know where that's ever happened, but I've heard it's a thing.
I hear it's a thing.
You mentioned Bradley Beal. He's rumored to come to Sacramento from Shams Charania yesterday. We broke down how it'll be difficult to make financially, but let's say there's a path there. How would he fit with the current roster, both on the court and the vibes? We'll break it down next on Chris & Co. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was all. It was all.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Kyle had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us, and just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. I'll never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. It's Ram season, Chad. What's going on at Hoblet?
We have some of the biggest savings of the year on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s with over $11,000 off MSRP. Or if you're worried about interest rates going up, save $6,000 off MSRP plus get financing as low as 2.9% for 72 months. And remember, Hoblet is California's #1 Ram truck dealer and has the best selection and deals on HD Rams too.
Hey, that's some pretty great savings, but why drive all the way to Hoblet?
We have no surprise fees, add-ons, or dealer markups, just savings. One of the many reasons we received the Walter P. Chrysler Award for outstanding customer service for 3 years in a row now. Plus, with Hoblet's Peace of Mind guarantee, you can buy with confidence.
Stop by their Hoblet Ram Truck Center for a test drive today, or search, select, and save through the whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
11,000 total net savings after 5091 factory rebates and 6,000 dealer discounts. 5091 factory rebates in lieu of 2.9% APR for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 1516 per thousand borrowed. 5 at each net savings. Sample VIN 622619.
The 120.
See, I knew running the board and hosting would catch up to me eventually. Didn't have the music ready.
It's all good.
Can we try that? Can we try the music again?
Yeah, let's run that back.
Oh, it's not even letting me do it now. What the heck?
Love it when that happens.
Sheet machine. Hold on. I'll find a way because I'm super smart.
You know what you're doing.
I do. Super smart. Okay, now it's not letting me drag. Maybe I'm not as smart. There we go. Hey, I told you it might be a little amateur hour today right here on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com. Welcome back, Chris and Co. I'm Jay Mars. I'm the Co today. And you know what? Damn happy to be the Co.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah,
I enjoy coing with you.
Better get used to it. Better get used to it because we're going to be coing a lot.
A lot of coing happening. So that just sounds weird.
Yeah,
we're not going to roll with
coing.
that. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll be coing on Monday.
Yeah,
this coming Monday.
Yeah,
right?
Check us out 9 to 12. And it's a holiday for most of you. It's not for me and Chris. Yeah. But hey, looking for something to do while you're at home? Put us up on the on your smart speaker.
Yeah.
Just say hey Google, I believe is what you do with those things.
Hey Google and
play Sactown Sports. Yeah. And Alexa, play Sactown Sports. Of course, you can get Sactown Sports anywhere. Smartphone. We're on YouTube right now. If you want to see our faces, youtube.com, search Sactown Sports there. And while we have familiar faces around here, an unfamiliar face might be coming to Sacramento in the form of Bradley Beal. It was reported by Shams Charania yesterday on Twitter, and also Sam Amick, who we love. He was on with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross earlier today at 9 a.m. You can check that out, SactownSports.com. Broke the news that the Kings had picked up the phone, made a call to Washington. Chris, we established that's not super shocking.
Yeah.
We know Monty McNair, when he hears a big name, he immediately rushes to the phone. Comes from the Daryl Morey school of go find you a star.
Yeah, Daryl Morey's all about that. He's like, stars are the most important thing in basketball, and if you have an opportunity to go get one,
go get
one. That is literally the Morey philosophy.
So we knew that was happening, but what was kind of surprising was Bradley Beal, who has, I believe, the only legit no trade clause in the NBA where he can just say no, said, yeah, I'd consider waiving my no trade clause to come to Sacramento.
How about that?
It's like, what?
Yeah, that's not something you hear every day.
We established we've never heard that.
Yeah.
That is literally in the history of the NBA.
Chris Webber included.
Yeah. Never said, I'll waive my no trade clause to come to Sacramento. Even when the team was good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird position that we're in now. And it's crazy to me that it's taken 1 year of success and obviously good vibes as well, but how quickly things have changed. I mean, like we were last year, Jaden Ivey wouldn't come to Sacramento to work out allegedly, like we're not far away from people just out, not even experienced veterans, but rookies saying, I don't want to go there.
I'm good.
And now we have Hall of Famers, all-stars saying, yeah, Sacramento sounds great. I'd love to go help that out. Incredible.
So the Beal thing is fascinating to me for more reasons outside of the financial stuff. We broke down how it might work financially and what kind of money the Kings would need to clear up in the first hour. Again, this show is on YouTube. It'll be archived there. You can go the first hour on demand, and we kind of broke all that down if you want to get into that. But I wanted to spend this segment getting more into what does that mean as far as fit on the court and off the court. Because I feel like there's a fit there on the court.
Yeah, on the floor, right. Like it's not, and that's the thing. Like I haven't heard many people speak positively about this Bradley Beal thing, but Bradley Beal's a great player.
Yeah.
Like, he's an all-star.
He's been in an awful market on awful teams.
Awful market.
But he's a
teams.
tremendous player.
Yeah, great talent. Still is 29 years old. On the floor, there's definitely some things there that can get you excited. Like, Bradley Beal is a legitimate. We were talking earlier about nobody else could create their own shot. Bradley Beal can create his own shot. He's also an underrated passer, has averaged multiple seasons of 5 and 6 assists per game. And granted, again, on bad teams where he has the ball in his hand a lot, but he's a good shooter. He's kind of slipped a little. I wouldn't call him a dead eye, but he should be averaging 37, 38% from three.
I feel like in this Kings offense, that would go back up.
I do too, right? Because he would be getting some great looks. I mean, imagine all of the looks Kevin Huerter gets, plus a little bit more, but with Bradley Beal. I mean, like, we're talking some real. I think his efficiency would climb. I think him and De'Aaron Fox are a great backcourt pairing. I talked about it yesterday, but the in terms of team success, the best that we've ever seen Bradley Beal was when he was next to John Wall. Who's the player in the NBA who most resembles John Wall's game? One, De'Aaron Fox.
Oh.
And so I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think Brad would know perfectly how to play off of De'Aaron, and him and Sabonis as well. I think Beal and Sabonis would have a great two-man game. So it makes sense, but the financials are the thing that you get hung up on.
Yeah.
And that's really where the deal gets shut down in my eyes.
Again, I want to leave the financials out of it, because at the end of the day, I do want to point this out to people, because the financials, you talk about, Fox is on a max. Sabonis will certainly be on a max. Beal's on a max, and it's hard to build around that. I get that. I totally understand that. The other thing I want to bring up, you have to go in the luxury tax to win an NBA title.
Fact.
That
is a
so get used to that.
Fact.
Get used to that idea. If you think the Kings are an actual title contender, they will likely be in the luxury tax. Is Bradley Beal not the perfect 2/3? Is that not his perfect role in the NBA on a competing team? He's not a 1.
He's not a 1. I don't know if he's a 3 though. I don't think he's big enough.
You think he's a 2?
I think he's a 2. I think that's
really?
it. Like, I think he's a 2, and maybe
no. I'm sorry. I don't mean position wise. I mean when the pecking order is established.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. I agree with that completely. I think. I think as a 3, he's as the third option. Incredible.
Right.
Would he be the third option here? Probably not. I would assume he'd probably be the second option.
But Sabonis would be the third option and be your initiator. By the way, you'd still have Keegan Murray on the team. Probably.
Right, exactly. You'd have Keegan, and
Domas is just sitting up at the top of the paint at that point and being like, who am I picking this play?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Domas is still going to have the ball in his hands probably more than Beal, but I think in terms of like actual creation of dribbling and having, creating offense in the old fashioned stance, I think, Beal could be a great second option. The problem is, frankly, it's kind of the same problem that we were talking about with Portland. I just don't know max that, like, what does that make the Kings? Like, is Fox, Sabonis, and Beal a championship team?
It depends on what's around them, right?
Exactly. And then how does the but then it factors into finances, and that's the problem. Like, to me, I know it's hard to have the conversation with Beal and not bring up the finances, because it's just a major part of it. Like you mentioned, building who are the players around him? Well, that's going to be hampered because of the massive price tag that he's at. So I just don't think that it's going to end up being the best situation for Sacramento to be in.
I have another concern about Bradley Beal, and we're out of time, so I'm going to bring that up. We're going to get back into this
ladies and gentlemen,
around 1:13, so about an hour from now. There's something with Bradley Beal I don't think enough people are talking about, and I want to get your opinion on that. So again, we'll do that here in about an hour. But coming up next, Nikola Jokic, the most untradeable player in the NBA. We'll try to establish that, and if we could even come up with a trade scenario that Denver might bite on. We'll do that here in about 5 minutes on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The 123rd U.S. Open Golf Championship takes place at the Los Angeles Country Club.
And Sactown Sports has you covered.
The U.S. Open, the tournament that I'd like to win, after having so many good opportunities.
Tune in from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 15th and Friday, June 16th for leaderboard updates and analysis.
Sactown Sports coverage of the U.S. Open is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Oh, God, he's back.
Who's back?
The clown.
The naked one?
Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia.
Does he want to trade it in?
No, he wants to show it off.
Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Grove Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia. Great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Like the hottest all-electric EV in the market, the luxurious EV6. Save big with lease specials of $10,000 below MSRP. Not just one or two, but every EV6 in stock. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your EV6 today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
You've heard all of his greatest hits. And now's your chance to see Grammy-nominated multi-platinum singer-songwriter Gavin DeGraw live at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville. Get your tickets now to see Gavin DeGraw Friday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. Only at Gold Country Casino Resort. Must be 21 or older.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? Prioritize your health and address those issues you've been ignoring. Revive Men's Health Sacramento has guaranteed low T and ED solutions. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. And find out how you can get a free 1-month supply of custom ED medication. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com today.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings, hey, just wing it.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Quick leaderboard update in the U.S. Open. Of course, Sactown Sports U.S. Open coverage is brought to you by Naturewood Home. Boy, I tried to rush through that. Let's try that again. Sactown Sports U.S. Open coverage is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. No change up top from our last update. Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, Ricky Fowler, all tied at -8. Clark is through 15. Fowler tees off at 132, Schauffele at 154. Of course, Clark was in the lead all morning at -9. That bogey gets you every time. So we'll be paying attention to that. Make sure you get your leaderboard updates top and bottom of every hour today, right here on SactownSports.com. Is Nikola Jokic the most untradeable player in the NBA? We'll answer that here in about a minute, but Steven wanted to get in on this Bradley Beal talk. Steven, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing, man?
Good, thanks. What's on your mind?
Quick question. Okay, so I know that I'm very unfamiliar with contracts in the NBA. So I know that other contracts in other sports you can restructure those. Two things. Is there a possibility that he could possibly restructure that contract to join us?
No.
And second of all,
no.
Chris, I would like to. We're still waiting on the Australian guy with the TV. You know what I'm saying? We need that smart fridge guy.
Oh, I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. Yes, that's a deep cut.
I'm waiting on it too. But anyway, that was just my question, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you,
bro. Appreciate that. Wow, Steven, longtime listener for that one.
I have no idea what he's talking about. I can't answer the Beal question. No, there's no restructuring.
Yeah, there is, and the only restructuring you could do is maybe like what we're potentially seeing in Phoenix, where you have to outright cut somebody, like what they did with Chris Paul.
Well,
and
Chris Paul had that
negotiation,
and Chris Paul, for everyone, for reference, there, Phoenix has the option to either bring him back for $30 million or they could waive him, but he still has $15 million guaranteed. Beal's contract has nothing of the sorts. Beal has 3 guaranteed years left on his deal and then a player option in year 4. What did you say that figure was?
It's $57 million.
We are breaking it today. Again, he will pick up that option.
He's opting into that.
So nothing like that exists.
Yeah, no, the smart fridge thing is I would always try and have on the original Chris and Company, which was only an hour, which feels like it was like 2 years ago at this point. We would always say that we were just wondering where people were listening. You know, are you watching at work? Are you watching on YouTube? And I was like, I know that I've truly made it when we get someone from like Australia that's watching on like the most obscure device possible.
Right.
And the most obscure device possible I could think of was a smart fridge. So I'm looking for one day someone's going to hit me up and be like, I'm watching your show right now live from Melbourne, Australia on my smart fridge. That's
and we'll need a picture to confirm.
Yes,
don't just say you're
1,000%. Yeah, I'm going to need a picture to confirm.
Do you think when he is chilling in Serbia in the offseason, Nikola Jokic is watching this show?
No, I don't think
either.
I don't think he's watching anything but his horses.
Well, we'll take a look at him anyways right now. Is you posed to me an interesting question before the show. Is Nikola Jokic the most untradeable player in the NBA?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say he's tied as the most untradeable player in the NBA?
No, you can't.
Well,
because I think
no, he's not.
Okay.
Because he's tied with another player.
I think that there's 2 options that I'll be willing to hear. I'm curious who
I have one.
Okay.
I just have one.
Yeah.
It's Giannis.
Sure. That's
to me, they're both untradeable.
Yeah.
So
you don't think there's any way that if Denver, for whatever reason, were like, you know what? We don't think Nikola Jokic loves basketball. Can we trade
Which is,
stars?
by the way, my favorite thing happening
it's
right
awesome.
now.
I love the fact that he's
just a
killing the
game
narrative.
for him.
I love the fact that he's killing the narrative.
Oh, dude. Like, people are like, oh, man, how could you? He doesn't love the game. Like, dude, he has 2 MVPs and a title. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter. All that matters is he shows up and he's great.
He shows up and he's great. It doesn't matter.
It matters if Ben Simmons doesn't love basketball because he's got a lot to get better at.
Yes.
Nikola Jokic.
Not so much.
Not so much. Yeah, he can go out on vibes.
What's the package? Look at a team. Give me any team right now that could create a package where I am
You're
Denver.
Considering it, yeah.
I am Calvin Booth, their GM, and I'm like, ooh, man, I don't know if I could turn that one down.
Because even like the other name that I was thinking besides Giannis is Steph. Like, I don't think that there's
Steph's tradable.
You think so?
Steph's tradable. It's only simply because of his age.
Right. Exactly. And that was exactly what I was going to say. Is that's the only reason
5
why
years
I would
ago,
say it's
untradeable.
Not. Yeah. Because I think, I think if you offer Steph for Jokic, I think Golden State has a meeting about it. Like, I think they have to at least
Does
talk
Denver?
about it.
Denver doesn't.
I don't think Denver does. No,
Denver
Denver's
turns
like,
it down
we're good.
immediately.
Yeah, this guy's 28, 29 years old. Like,
oh, by the way, we have Jamal Murray.
Yeah, and that as well. Right. I think I still feel like Jokic in my if I think I would rather. I think Jokic is more untradeable than Giannis. I think Jokic has more skills. I think he can shoot better. I think he's a better passer.
Overall skilled player, yes.
I think you can do more things around him. I think he allows you to have a lot more freedom building your team. I personally, if I have Jokic, I'm not trading him for Giannis. If I have Giannis, I would consider trading him for Jokic only because of the extra skills that Jokic brings.
I think what makes them both so untradeable, and I think you bring up a fascinating point, especially because to me it's skills versus intangibles.
We're also clearly nitpicking here.
Yes, but that's what I mean. I agree with you. Jokic is the more skilled of the two.
Yeah.
But when you talk about just unteachable intangibles,
sure,
there's nobody in the league on Giannis's level.
No one else is 6'11" with a 7'8" wingspan or whatever the
hell.
And
those two teams have won 2 of the last 3 NBA titles.
Yeah.
And they're kind of built very similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no second bona fide, multiple time, like Hall of Famer next to them.
Yeah.
We can establish that.
Yeah. Jamal Murray's never made an all-star game.
No, and he probably will next year if he's healthy.
Probably.
But Chris Middleton was an all-star.
But only because he played with Giannis.
Drew was an all-star.
But only because he played with Giannis on a winning team.
Brooke Lopez was an all-star way earlier in his career on a really crappy Eastern Conference team.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Nuggets, I think there was a case for Aaron Gordon this year.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. is a max guy.
Yeah.
Say what you will.
Jamal Murray, when healthy, should be an all-star.
KCP is a previous champion.
They have basically really shown that if you have this centerpiece, like Jokic or Giannis, and again, I think these are the only 2 guys in the NBA like this right now. You don't need a second bona fide superstar to win around them. Just put the proper pieces around their game, which is what Milwaukee did by just basically like, we're going to surround Giannis with shooters and good defenders. And Denver, we're going to put a bunch of really skilled players around Jokic that he can find and work off of.
Yeah.
There's no other 2 players in the NBA that I feel like you can do that with. Agreed? Like, is there another guy that just by himself and with a couple, maybe another 2 or 3 time all-star and some really good pieces, you're like, that's an NBA title contender every year?
If I could project forward maybe to next year, Luka.
Really?
I think so.
I
think Luka wins MVP next year.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks like he's slimming down in the offseason. There's some pictures that are floating around of him on the internet that he looks good.
He looks good. Luka's got everything. Minus the efficiency.
I agree.
He's got everything.
What do you think they need to put around him in Dallas for him to be that guy? For him to win a title, which, to your point, if he wins a title in the same vein as Jokic and Giannis, I'll have the conversation with you. I'm not there yet. What is
really
the
hate
ideal
how Dallas
team?
is built around him. I think Dallas is literally built the opposite of what is needed around Luka. Like, to me, I would just put shooters, just built literally how you built that Cleveland Cavaliers team, championship team around LeBron. All shooters. That's all you need. Put shooters around
the
Luka.
Kyrie piece.
I don't even think. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, almost exactly the same team. I honestly don't even think that Kyrie's the best option to have next to. Like, I don't think Luka needs an extra star. I think Luka just needs role guys. Like, I think he's best
high-end role guys.
High-end role guys for sure. Absolutely, you need
Chris
guys
Middleton, perhaps.
Chris Middleton would be perfect. He would be perfect in Dallas, and then give him a rim protect. Like, give him a legitimate big so that they can stand a chance against a team like Denver. Exactly. That's all you need, in my opinion, around Luka, is just let Luka have the ball in his hand. His usage percentage is already absurd. I would just crank that thing up and let every single decision be made by Luka Doncic. And I truly believe
you trust giving Luka those keys, though.
I do. Yeah. I mean, the guy is still 23, 24 years old. He's got a lot of room until he's in his peak of his powers. I think that this guy is the next one up. To me, when I look at who's going to be the next guy that we're going to talk about in the same vein as Jokic and Giannis, Luka to me is the clear and obvious choice.
I'm going to be honest. If that happens, it won't happen in Dallas. I do not think they have the infrastructure from the front office that can put that team around him.
Yeah.
Like,
they haven't done it so far. Not even close.
They've botched it.
Yeah, completely.
So badly.
They've ruined his career worse than ruined his career, but they've
his career's not ruined.
Yeah,
but they're not taking advantage of it.
Worse than I think Sacramento would have. Like, which is hilarious to think that. Yeah, I mean, the Kings probably would have built a better team around Luka than what Dallas has. I don't think you could have put worse pieces around Luka than what they have right now.
The A's have put some really bad pieces in play in Las Vegas, which is not known to be a super good deal. Why one former MLB executive thinks it's still going to be Oakland.
Really?
We got audio of that next.
Ooh. The Kings season might be over, but Sactown sports coverage never stops.
We, as a team, have a ways to go. This is something that you want to be able to build off of.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
The annual Father's Day sale is on at Work World. For all the dads who show us the meaning of hard work, you keep our families and communities strong. Right now, Work World has unbeatable deals on high-quality work boots and workwear with brands like Timberland Pro, built for the bold. Timberland Pro work boots will help keep dads safe and comfortable all day on the job. Find our full selection of Timberland Pro and more gifts for hardworking dads during the Father's Day sale at your local Work World store and workworld.com.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Amy's Outdoor Living, now in Sacramento and El Dorado Hills. They're your grilling headquarters with smoking hot deals. Get it? Smoking hot deals on Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg barbecues, plus the professional grade Gosney pizza ovens for Father's Day. That's right, for Father's Day, not dads and grads. Father's Day. Save up to $600 on Traeger Timberline models. Save up to $100 on Weber Genesis. Stop in and see all the in-store offers they have. And oh, by the way, free setup and delivery, which is a huge help. Save up to 40% on select in-store patio furniture and umbrellas. Their umbrella shipment just arrived with many colors, sizes, and shapes. It's all at Amy's Outdoor Living, El Camino near Watt, and inside Amy Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center. Just tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. One of the byproducts of the A's good play recently has been that 3 pitchers earned their first major league wins within a span of less than 2 weeks. Lucas Erceg against Atlanta May 29th. Hogan Harris against the Pirates on June 7th. Luis Medina June 9th against Milwaukee. And Ken Waldichuk earned his first save by blanking Tampa Bay for 3 innings, beginning the most recent homestand. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Make sure you tune into YouTube right now as we live stream each and every day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. right here on Sactown Sports. You can see Chris's handsome face and my mediocre face. Just go to YouTube, Sactown Sports. Search that out. You'll see the link. Hit it and enjoy this wonderful content we've been bringing you all freaking day, if I may say so myself.
Oh, yeah. It's been good content today for sure.
Well, let's get
Not
into
that morning show though.
Yeah, you
They're
know.
missing something today. I can't put my finger on what it was.
I don't
Something
know.
wasn't quite there today.
I'll talk to their producer about it and see what he has to say.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has thoughts.
Yeah,
I know the guy personally.
Yeah.
Good dude.
guy. Good guy.
Really
good guy. Yeah.
Hey, you know who's not a great guy? John Fisher.
Yeah. The other Rob Manfred's not either.
Rob Manfred actually might be a more terrible human being than John Fisher. I think there's a deep dive there and a 30 for 30 that
that's
needs to be done on that.
Man. Ooh, that's super interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd go John Fisher. You can't,
Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Rob Manfred does suck, though, really bad.
He sucks really bad. It's a close race.
You heard of the name David Sampson?
Sounds familiar.
I wouldn't expect most people to be familiar with this name. Let me introduce you to David Sampson. He is the former president of the Florida/Miami Marlins. He was one of the people involved that got, is it Truist Park in Miami is the name of it? Got that built. I believe that opened in 2012. Anyways, he knows all about the inner workings of getting a stadium done in a city when it comes down to public-private partnership and the negotiating and stuff that has to go on there. He was on with Dan Le Batard yesterday, and he's been very vocal, very much as a critic of the way the A's have handled this situation in Las Vegas and in Oakland. And he's not exactly... He doesn't exactly think that this is going to go through. We're going to play some audio right now of his thoughts on what has transpired in Vegas so far.
So the boycott is not relevant. The fact that the team stinks is not relevant. What is relevant is that owners want to get the A's out of the revenue sharing receiver position. They're getting a ton of money in revenue sharing, and they want that stopped. What's also relevant is that the owners want expansion money so they can pay off debt that they incurred during COVID and that they've incurred over time because salaries are too high. And so they've got to get Oakland and Tampa taken care of before expansion. But it's not done yet.
There you go. And we've talked about this before. A lot of the language in that bill that was signed in Las Vegas is not A's specific. It's MLB specific. What MLB has done here via the A's. Now, I still think there's a better than not chance they end up there.
Yeah.
But what they have done is establish public funding to get a stadium built should, the A's can't come up with whatever. They can find an ownership. Vegas is now expansion ready. You don't have to worry about the team playing somewhere for a few years before the stadium is built.
Right.
So there's that aspect of it. Now, this is the part I find interesting. He also commented on the fact that he does not think 9 acres is enough in Las Vegas.
Well, you're definitely being lied to. So is it more real because there's state money now for a ballpark? I want to give you one thing to think about, and we can make this 2 segments or 0 segments. There is no ballpark that can fit on 9 acres of land that has a retractable roof. That's the start and the end of this discussion.
That's fascinating.
I would highly recommend people to go over to YouTube and go. Brody Brazil has a fantastic video literally breaking down the acreage of every single MLB ballpark, all of the retractable roof ones, all of the open air ones. And it says exactly what he's pointing out there. There are 2 ballparks that are currently open that fit in 9 acres. Any guess what they are, Jay?
2 that are open.
Yep.
Trop?
Nope.
God.
There's a commonality between these 2 stadiums.
Give me a hint, because I know I can figure this out.
They're old.
Oakland Coliseum?
Older.
Older than the Oakland Coliseum?
Yes.
So they can't be an active stadium.
Wrigley Field.
Oh, geez.
And Fenway Park.
Okay, they are older than Coliseum.
Both built in 1910s. Those are the only 2 ballparks that fit within 9 acres.
And they're tiny.
And they are old as hell, and they are very, very tiny. And as a matter of fact, like a detriment to the actual building themselves. Like, you can just look up, there's famous pictures of Fenway Park. There's seats that are behind poles, seats that aren't even facing the ballpark. Like,
they're historical, but they're not exactly fan friendly.
Yes, and they're also not cutting edge. They're also not beautiful. Like, you know, they're beautiful in their own way.
They're landmarks.
Yes, exactly.
There's history there. That's why it's a thing.
Yeah. It's not because it's so beautiful. You know, there's
also
not cutting edge technology
in Chicago and Boston that has other sources of revenue that can keep the teams competitive.
Yes, exactly.
TV deals, all of that. We haven't even gotten to that yet with the
which
A's.
is an incredibly important piece of all of this as well. Like, the smallest retractable roof ballpark is it's either the one in Miami or it's in Milwaukee, but it's 11 acres.
Right.
That is the smallest retractable roof ballpark in baseball right now, is on 11 acres.
And the renderings that the A's have put out with and by the way, I think they're calling a semi-retractable roof, which makes no damn sense.
Renderings,
that's not on 9 acres, man.
The renderings, I don't know. This entire process, even the Rob Manfred comments that we played earlier, didn't get me as upset as the first time I saw those renderings.
So trash.
It is the biggest slap in the face to anyone who has any sort of knowledge on this ballpark being built. The fact that, it was promoted as 9 acres. And if you look at those renderings,
not 9 acres.
It's taking up the entire plot of the Tropicana, which is meant to also not included in those renderings, the 2 tower hotels that the Tropicana is going to build, which is the actual reason why the A's are getting the ballpark. It's not even really the A's ballpark is being built. We should really be thinking of this as the Tropicana is going to build a massive new resort that also includes a ballpark.
Not on those renderings, friend.
And that's not what those renderings say at all. This entire situation, just everything about it, just fuels my fire.
All that being said, is there still a deal in Oakland?
No, I think it could still be built at the Howard Terminal. I think that they were closer to a deal in Oakland than they even are in Vegas. The problem is that John Fisher has screwed it up so badly that it's made our effort, and Wayne Huizinga's and John Henry's in Florida, it's made our effort look amazing because of everything he's done wrong along the way, from both a PR standpoint and just a practical standpoint of how to get a deal done. I think that MLB needs Vegas as an expansion candidate, and to waste them as a relocation.
Yeah.
That's
the point there.
That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier.
That's the biggest thing. Like, why
you're talking about waiving relocation fees?
I don't understand how the owners haven't made a bigger stink about this. Like, you're missing out on.
Are they that over the John Fisher Oakland situation? Like, screw it, we don't care. Just we're done with this.
I think so, and I think that they're really not trying to revenue split any. Like, that to me must be their main, truly their main motivation, and nothing else matters.
Well, remember, the revenue sharing is done top of next year for the A's.
That's right. Yeah,
and so they needed to make something happen and happen quickly.
Right, and I just don't understand why the owners would agree to miss out. I mean, if you're getting an expansion team to Vegas, what, $1 billion, maybe $1.5 billion, in just the fee.
Dude, you're talking about 2 expansion teams. They're going to jack that up to probably the number you're saying, because again, they're only expanding because to recoup their losses from the pandemic.
Exactly.
Right? That's all they're doing.
We don't need 2 more.
There's no
teams.
reason to have 2 more teams.
No.
You can barely field 15 good teams.
Right.
What? And you're going to add 2, so 32?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No. It's finally Samson throws a little more shade at Fisher.
Even more?
He thinks he thinks Fisher needed to, and Manfred needed to lie better.
You're offended that the blueprint you gave them to lie better hasn't been executed more competently.
It's horrific. We told them how to do it, and I learned from people before me how to lie, how to leverage, how to make up stuff in order to get more public money.
Wow.
We had it, and we gave it to them, and they've thrown it all away.
What you don't see, because it's audio, is the other people on Lebitard's show just like shocked that this man just openly put that out there.
My face right now. That's the first I'm hearing that audio. What?
They gave them the blueprint about how to lie to get a stadium built in their city, and they didn't follow it.
An absolute wild thing to also admit.
super wild. He's never working in baseball again, clearly.
He's never getting anything passed through government ever again. I mean, yeah, for sure. I guess, deal's already done. Might as well tell all the secrets now. But that is insane. That is an insane thing to admit. And also incredibly John Fisher that, you can literally be handed a blueprint on just do this. And we're not saying don't lie. As a matter of fact, we are telling you how to lie.
Right. There's a whole book.
Can't even do that right.
We have years and years of executives practicing this lying and how to leverage the city and get everything you want out of them. And it's like, my guy, how did you not even follow the blueprint? It's easy.
How ass backwards is baseball also that this man isn't upset about John Fisher lying? It's that he lied poorly.
Right.
Like, God, how about the fact that, he is lying and he's making us all look, or he thinks that we're all stupid.
Right.
And I can't. John Fisher, please, I don't want to hear about you ever again.
No, sell us to a better liar. Sell the A's to a better liar. Let's get that damn stadium done.
Just get it done.
Just
get it done.
What former Marlins exec David Sampson preaches.
And I also heard him say that, he believed that the deal was even closer in Oakland than it is right now for Vegas.
That's factual,
The
by the way.
Oakland mayor literally said in an interview with Casey Pratt, she believed that they were 2 days away from having this thing signed, sealed, and delivered. Just disgusting. Just gross.
It is. All right. 3 hours in the books. Big news this morning. Ja Morant suspended 25 games by the NBA. We're going to tell you why that's a lot more significant number than you might think right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Being a letter carrier and walking 20,000 steps, which equals up to about 10 miles a day, it's tough. I really didn't have feet problems. I had back problems. I had had as many epidurals that I could possibly have in 1 year. That was scary. Well, I've been delivering letters to the Good Feet store for over 6 years, and the expert there finally convinced me to try their arch supports.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Keith actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
The people at the Good Feet store really educated me about what the arch supports could actually do. And lo and behold, I have no more back problems. The future I can see now. I couldn't see it before. Where I would be without them, I have no clue. I'm Keith, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Oh, God, he's back.
Who's back?
The clown.
The naked one?
Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia.
What, does he want to trade it in?
No, he wants to show it off.
Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Grove Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
Yeah, I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia, great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Like the hottest all-electric EV in the market, the luxurious EV6. Save big with lease specials of $10,000 below MSRP. Not just one or two, but every EV6 in stock. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your EV6 today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Giving you a quick leaderboard update for the U.S. Open. Our U.S. Open coverage brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's always all about choices and always about quality. Not a lot of movement towards the top. Still a 3-way tie for first. Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, and Ricky Fowler. Clark is through 16, so he still has 2 chances right now to get ahead of those two, as Fowler tees off at 132 and Schauffele at 154. Remember, we'll have those updates for you top and bottom of every hour today right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. It's Chris and Co. Jay Mars, I am your co today. And by the way, having a good time being the co today. We've had fun.
Yeah, today's been a blast. I can't believe we only have an hour left already. It feels
Flying
like we
by.
just started.
Listen, when you got hip hop Mike Malone.
Yep. Oh man, I would love to hear that again. By the way,
former baseball executives saying that John Fisher just needs to lie better.
Incredible.
When you have Michael Jordan selling the Hornets, when you have Bradley Beal rumored to be a Sacramento King, and when you have Ja Morant breaking news at the top of the day.
Show kind of writes itself at that point.
Show just writes itself.
Beautiful when that happens.
The NBA has suspended Morant for 25 games. Now, prior to this suspension being announced, there was a lot of rumor, a lot of social media talk that, man, I think Ja's going to get like 50. Could Ja get the season?
Right.
And then the 25 game, when you set yourself up for that, 25 seems like nothing, right? Like it seems like, oh man, that's a slap on the wrist.
Yep. Especially with how, Silver was making us believe that we need to be buckled up for something.
No, Adam Silver in the middle of the NBA finals is like, hey, we don't want to take away from the finals, but we'll be announcing a suspension soon.
Coming.
We found more information.
Yeah. Also no new information to my knowledge, right?
Nothing has come out about that yet. So when you set yourself up at a 50-game expectation, 25 seems minimal. It's not.
It's not. No, it's not.
Let's look through this real quick. 25 games, that is roughly almost a third of the season. It's a big chunk of a 82-game season, my friend.
Yeah, that's huge.
A third of it.
Right.
First and foremost, let's just start there. Now, with the new CBA kicking in this year, players have to play 65 games or more to be eligible for off-season awards. Do the math. 25 minus 82, 57. Ja Morant will not be eligible for any postseason awards.
Yep.
You might look at that and be like, okay, I mean, really, he's not eligible for a trophy? No.
No. It's more than that.
It's a lot more than that, especially for a guy like Ja, where when you talk about all-star appearances, which he probably won't make because he's missing the first 25 games, All NBA, MVP, all of that stuff matters when these guys are looking to go from a max deal to a super max deal.
Yep, that's exactly what a super max is based off of, and we're seeing it with Jaylen Brown. Once you make any of the All NBA teams, you now are eligible to make upwards of $55 to $60 million per year.
It was $39 million he lost out on potential future earnings last year.
Right.
Now with this year kind of being the same thing, Brian Windhorst, on First Take this morning, Ja Morant is at least looking at $50 million in losses. It's as bad of a penalty as we've seen in the history of professional sports.
That's incredible. And I assume that's taking into account lost endorsements and other, and, potential on, what the difference between a max and a super max, that kind of difference.
To me, that 50 million figure feels like the super max thing.
Right. Exactly.
Because listen, if Ja Morant plays most of last season, he's an all-star. He is likely on an all NBA team.
Probably.
This year would have a great opportunity for both and be super max eligible. And I believe the super max is around something like $50 million that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's the enticing part about it.
Yeah. And I saw on Twitter that Ja is supposed to lose $304,000 per game when he's out. Over 25 games, that equals a total of $7.6 million.
Again, and that's just this year.
That's just this year.
In earnings he'll lose just on his contract for this year. And then you factor in the future
earnings.
My gosh.
Potential, or maybe I'm sure that there's a good handful of sponsors that might have considered Ja Morant at one point. And
Nike is staying with him. I do want to point out, Nike is pointing out he got the big one left.
Yeah.
But when it comes to future
Ma and Pa stuff, and obviously not Ja Morant's not getting Ma and Pa deals, but some of the smaller,
we're not getting Ja Morant for Amy Ace Hardware.
Maybe not Ace Hardware, but there might be some other shops that
and Ja Morant is a very marketable player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Maybe the most marketable before all this.
And this is not an apples to oranges situation. I hate to bring it up. I'm merely bringing up in the idea of when people become unendorsable. Chris Brown on the music side.
Right.
This happened to him with again the
Rihanna situation.
The Rihanna situation. Thank you. That's why Chris Brown still makes all the music he does, because he has and his record label will tell you that he has no other outlet to make money.
Right. Except for touring and making money.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's not endorsable.
Yep.
He ruined his image and has, not helped himself over years, but that's a completely different story. But the point I'm trying to make is once you get to this image,
absolutely,
it's really hard to rehab it.
It's almost impossible.
He's going to have to do a lot to rehab his image.
Yeah, no, it's not just going to be his words. It's not even going to be him being, even if he's better in silence, it's going to have to be if he wants to really repair his image, it's going to have to be very public, and we're all going to have to see it. And most importantly, we're all going to have to believe it. It can't just be him, whatever, showing up at boys and girls club events or whatever. He's got to really live a different lifestyle if he wants to, fix his image in total.
It's not just live the different lifestyle, it's the consistency.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's what people are going to say especially when you talk about endorsements.
And he's a young guy still.
He's very young. I mean, Ja Morant is drafted in 2018.
Is he
24?
Is he 23, 24 years old, maybe?
This is a kid, man.
Yeah.
Ja Morant can't rent a car yet. Put it in that
he's
perspective.
23 years old.
Yeah.
23 years old. So he's got a lot of room to grow, but also a lot of time to also mess up. And it can go either way. I really do believe at this point, he's got to figure it out, because we talked about it. If anything close to this happens again, he's going to get hit. Then he might get hit with a 50. He might get hit with a 60. I doubt an 82, but at that point, depending on
there's
what it is,
wiggle room, man.
Yeah, no, there's just not. And so, it could be, it doesn't have to be next year. It doesn't have to be this year. It could be 5 years from now. He can mess up again. And I think he'll get a much harsher punishment. It's just the guy's got to learn. And he says in his statement, which I hated seeing it in his statement, that he's got to, pretty much he said the same exact thing as what he said last time.
Yeah.
It's he's got to figure out his mental health and
be a role model.
Using those buzzwords. I don't like to see it, because now is not the time to say those things. Now is the time for action, or just to apologize and say, I'm sorry, I'm going to get better. I don't need to bring back up your mental health and all that. Not saying that that's not obviously incredibly important and that's not something that shouldn't be addressed, but that's something, again, actions. I want to see actions. I don't want to hear you say you're going to take care of it. I want to see you take care of it.
I mean, it feels like both of those statements were like Chat GPT.
Exactly.
Like AI driven, like
PR
what's the right
firm.
thing, the PR thing to say.
Yeah.
While I believe very much in Morant when it comes to the personal accountability thing, obviously, you control your life. I can't help but wonder, though, I feel like the Memphis Grizzlies organization has had a huge problem over the last few years holding their players accountable for stupid things that they do. A lot of it on the court. They're a very dislikable team.
Yeah.
Taylor Jenkins goes out there and basically anytime one of his guys does something like a Dylan Brooks incident, he defends his guys when he shouldn't.
Right.
And, there was speculation beforehand, especially as this Ja Morant stuff started coming out, like the Grizzlies were, as an organization, completely 100% behind Ja.
Yeah.
That it wasn't until a lot of this stuff started making its way on IG that they suddenly flipped the script on it.
Right.
How much accountability or how much do we have to look at the Grizzlies organization as kind of this enablement organization as part of the problem here?
Absolutely. I mean, they should take I think they should take a huge amount of blame in all of this. I mean, this is a guy that's been under their roof for now 4 seasons now. Like they've had time to help him become a professional. And, being a young guy, like coming into the league as a superstar, it's part of the organization's responsibility to make sure that they're having their, and obviously Ja's a grown man. He can make his own decisions about who he's going to hang around. But the organization is supposed to put their stars, especially, in positions where they're going to succeed. And I think Memphis is just kind of really leaned into, they obviously had the grit and grind era, but I think they leaned a little bit too far into like this model of like, yeah, we're Memphis, we're tough, we're gritting and grindy, and it's just like it doesn't have to be that way.
It's like they're trying to be the bad boy Pistons,
yes,
except having no idea how to do it.
Exactly, yeah. And I just don't, none of these guys are millionaires. Some, LeBron James is a billionaire. Like, this is not an organization. This is not, the NBA is not what it used to be. Like, these guys are celebrities. They're millionaires. They should be carrying themselves
social media influencers
way differently than how Ja is carrying himself. And I think that's the part that's just like, I will never understand why, and that's not for me to understand, but I just don't understand why Ja is trying to portray himself as this, because frankly, it just doesn't have to be that way.
No.
It doesn't have to be this way. You're making your life, you're making your teammates' life, you're making the entire organization's life 100 times harder than it needs to be.
No, 100%. Like, we know Ja's not
He's
not a gangster.
He's not.
Like, Ja, go stand.
And that's not disrespectful to say.
It's not. It's like,
all.
dude, you ain't that guy. And trust me,
you shouldn't want to be that guy.
That's the point.
You don't want to be those guys. Those guys want to be you.
Right.
And for whatever reason, and this is a tale as old as time,
yeah,
the guys who are proven and are separated from that life always want to have to prove that they are still about that life.
Right. But he never was. That's
he
the
never
part
was.
That kills
also,
me.
right? That's almost a whole separate conversation. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just so avoidable. I think that, yeah, I mean, to answer your question there, I think Memphis also, the Grizzlies have to take some ownership in trying to make this work as well, because it's only going to hurt them also in the future, as well as Ja.
100%. How will the Kings make it work when it comes to their roster next year? Bradley Beal? If Harrison Barnes is out, who replaces him in the starting lineup? We'll get to that next right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Count. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Carmichael Dave here. Spring here. Long, cold, rainy winter behind us. And I know you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioning is working efficiently and safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from my friends at American Energy Heat and Air. Nothing worse than having your AC go out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today to make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Or schedule your appointment online like I did last year around this time at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Don't wait till that AC goes out. Call my friends today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Appreciate all our YouTube viewers. Sactown Sports. Search it out on YouTube. Watch the show. But if you want to be just a listener, just want us in your ears, several ways to do that. Download the Sactown Sports app. You can listen live there. If you're at your desk and just want to listen, you can do that at SactownSports.com. Of course, all these shows are archived. That also at the Sactown Sports app and on YouTube. Search out Sactown Sports. No way for you to miss anything that we've done. A lot of great A's talk today. Steve Berman of The Athletic, Casey Pratt of ABC 7 sat down with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross to give their insight on what is going on with the A's stadium situation in Oakland and in Las Vegas. SactownSports.com has that for you right now. Jay Mars, Chris Watkins, Chris and Co. Chris, I told you earlier, there's something about Bradley Beal that I don't see. I don't know if reported is the right word, but talked about enough.
What's that?
I'm just going to ask you straight up. Is Bradley Beal a winner?
No. I mean, nothing about anything Bradley Beal has done in his career speaks to him being defined as a winner. No, absolutely nothing. I mean, he's been on a couple good Wizards teams, like I mentioned earlier in the John Wall era. But even then, like Bradley Beal doesn't have a shining moment. There's not really like oh my gosh, you guys remember when Bradley Beal averaged 32 a game for that playoff series, or, you know, even the most significant shot I can think of from that Wizards era is Paul Pierce calling game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He called game. And besides that, I mean, his Wizards tenure has been pretty terrible. Like, it's been pretty mediocre, which is also the story of the Wizards, but Bradley Beal's been a big part of that.
I always get like the early 2010s drafts mixed up because they were so terrible in so many different ways on a lot of different levels. Beal was third in 11 or 13.
He was in 2012.
Oh, geez.
2012 draft. Yeah,
2 picks before Thomas Robinson.
Okay.
Guy's been in the league 11 years.
He has been. He's been in the league for a good handful of years for sure.
As an outsider, we have watched the Washington Wizards be low-key one of the worst ran NBA teams over the past amount of years.
Yep.
Like they never figure it out. And it was very obvious that this Wizards team, especially over the last 4 or 5 seasons, wasn't going to figure it out. We questioned every year, why do they do the things that they do? Why don't they rebuild? And it feels like not an exact comparison, but it's almost in a Carmelo-esque, like Beal seemed to be more about getting paid than going and finding a winning team to play for. Right. And
that's concerning.
Okay, because I always am like, okay, I get a guy getting paid.
Sure, yeah.
Make your money, get your generational wealth. I understand that.
Boo-boo.
But man, as a competitor, why on earth would you want to stay in Washington?
Right. And it's when they're that bad.
Yes.
And it's not like it's not like a De'Aaron Fox situation where it's like the Kings are really also incentivized to do it because they haven't really locked. It's more of a symbol of like, we are serious about being a good team. It was just Bradley Beal knew that Washington wasn't heading anywhere. John Wall had already gone and left. Like, there was nothing promising about the next 5 years of Washington Wizards basketball. And for him to just voluntarily sign up for that instead of looking at other situations, to me, that told me all I needed to know about what his priorities are. And like you said, good on you, bro. Like you did it. $250 million. My gosh.
Get paid.
If anyone's going to pay you that, who the hell are you to say no?
But was that $50 million worth being on a crap team and it feels like it was for him? Because there's no way if you're the former GM Tommy Shepard is sitting there selling you on a plan that, hey man, just give me a couple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be right there.
Yeah, there's no way.
Right there.
By the way, to your initial question of is Bradley Beal a winner? The most wins Bradley Beal has had in his career so far, 49. Never even been on a 50-win team. His entire in a weakened Eastern Conference as well.
Mind you, the Kings won 49 games last year. That's hilarious. So that's just something I want to throw out there when you talk about all this scuttlebutt around Beal. I mean, there's contracts to worry about, on-court fit. But for me, with the vibe of this team, that would be a big concerning thing if the Kings are really serious and try to make that deal. But one way or the other, I think we've both landed on the idea we don't think Harrison Barnes is going to be the starting small forward on this team next year. Right.
I think there's a chance, but I think that would be like the fallback plan. Like that is the breaking case of emergency plan if I'm the Kings, but that's also, Harrison has his own say in that as well.
So who is that guy then? Because and I'm not just saying it has to be a straight up swap of small forwards.
Yeah.
Do you find a big that fits with Domas that shifts Domas down to the 4 and Keegan down to the 3? Listen, do you give Trey Lyles a shot at stretch 4, move Keegan down to the 3? Is it Vezenkov? I mean, is there another guy in free agent that that you think could be that guy to plug in there?
The problem is, and it all ends up coming back down to money. Like if you're going to bring in a guy, especially off of free agency to replace Harrison Barnes, the guys that can be brought in are going to require $20+ million. Like if you're bringing in Jeremy Grant, like you said, to maybe you move Keegan down to the 3, put Jeremy Grant at the 4. Something tells me Jeremy Grant's going to be asking for 22, 23, maybe even $25 million per year. Guy like Kyle Kuzma, that's a nice, Kyle Kuzma right now might be where Harrison Barnes is at, but that's obviously a little bit higher of an upside swing. That's going to cost you $22 million per year, which again, when you're looking forward at the Kings cap, like they're paying De'Aaron Fox, they're paying Domantas Sabonis. They're also going to have to pay Malik Monk if they want to keep him past next year. There's a lot of guys that are due money.
Yeah.
You don't want to be hamstrung with a Kyle Kuzma or Jeremy Grant, who are fine starters, but also might find you in the same place that Harrison is at right now.
Well, and I feel like those guys too, when you talk about being hamstrung, for me, it's not the financial figure that scares me more so. It's the length of the contracts they're going to want.
Right.
Kuzma's going to want they're going to want 4-year deals. Yeah. Grant will get a 4-year deal somewhere. Kuzma's going to get a 4-year deal somewhere. Wow. What about the idea of a guy like Brook Lopez who can stretch the floor?
Brook Lopez?
At his age, I don't think he's getting a 4-year.
I love Brook Lopez. Okay. Brook Lopez is.
You perked up when I said that name.
That's my dream signing. Okay. I think it works perfectly.
Can you offer him a ton of money short term? Because again, is anyone giving a 35-year-old a 4-year deal?
That's my question. I don't know. I think Brook is hoping for that, but I think realistically at 36, like 2 years, that's what I would give. And Brook has been great. And if there's anybody in the league who has been able to reinvent themselves time after time after time as he gets older, it's Brook Lopez, who's completely changed from a post dominant guy to now like a 3-and-D center. Like it's incredible what he's been able to morph his career into, but banking on him playing this way past 30. I mean,
but that's
honestly,
what I'm saying.
passing 37
that's
is pretty
my
nuts.
point. I think he's going to get a short-term deal, and at that point, I'm not afraid to give him a big lump of cash.
Thank you, Jay.
A la that 1 year. What did JJ Redick get on that 1-year deal?
1 year, I think like $22 million. Something
crazy.
Yeah,
that's not a bad move if you're the Kings.
Speaking my language.
Dude, I'm saying I think that's something you need to explore.
Yeah.
There's some cap gymnastics there that are very achievable.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a pick that you could attach to a guy like Holmes and trade him into someone's cap space to give them there's ways to do this is my point.
No, and I think a lot of people, when you say bringing in Brook Lopez, they instantly assume that he has to, okay, so you're bringing in Brook Lopez to be your starter. I don't necessarily think that's the case either. I think he can start against certain teams if you're going against a Philadelphia, if you're going against a team like Milwaukee or against Denver, who has these dominant bigs, absolutely start Brook Lopez. But he's also somebody at 36, 37 years old. And, depending on what you're paying him, I think you could bring him off the bench for a good couple of games if matchups depend on it. And, again, he's a really versatile guy. I really like that signing.
With Lopez, I think what it comes down to is, can he get the most money he can at the end of his career, and will he be in a winning situation? Yeah. I think Sacramento can present both sides. That's all I'm saying.
I'd be willing to take that risk.
Michael Jordan didn't win a lot of games as running a team. The Charlotte Hornets sold this morning for $3 billion. We're going to break down the sell and kind of look at Michael's post-playing career as an executive. Spoiler, not great. We'll get to that next on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
And we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by R.C. Willey Home Furnishings.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast, plenty of sunshine and a toasty day again. We'll expect afternoon highs to climb to the low to mid-90s with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
New flooring instantly updates a room. R.C. Willey has an incredible selection of carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate. Their experts will help you find the perfect floor for your home and schedule a free in-home measure. Shop R.C. Willey in Elk Grove or Rockland today.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder. Feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar. And while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
New flooring instantly updates a room. RC Willey has an incredible selection of carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate. Their experts will help you find the perfect floor for your home and schedule a free in-home measure. Shop RC Willey in Elk Grove or Rockland today.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Quickly going to take a look at the U.S. Open leaderboard. Our U.S. Open coverage brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. We have movement, Chris Watkins. Movement atop.
About time.
Through 17, Wyndham Clark has got back to -9. That puts him atop the leaderboard, sitting at #1. Ricky Fowler, Xander Schauffele right behind him, though. They tee off at 132 and 154, respectively, both at -8. So not sure if that -9 is going to hold up for Wyndham Clark by the time the day is over. But hey, guy sitting up there right now.
See my guy Harris English climbing up. I have no idea who Harris English is, but
I was going to say, can you give me some stats on Harris English?
I can tell you
known
that
facts.
I can tell you that he's -4 today, and he's -7 total on the tournament, and he's creeped up into 4th place right now.
I can tell you, Harris English, actually American.
Crazy. That is absolutely nuts.
Oh, what's nuts is the Charlotte Hornets just sold for $3 billion.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts, too.
Michael Jordan, great NBA basketball player.
Pretty good. He's
maybe better.
Do we want to say great?
Great. I'll go great.
Okay.
I'll step on them.
Okay. Michael Jordan, great. Okay.
Is this a controversial statement?
It sounds like it.
Maybe even better businessman.
Ooh, no. I think that's controversial. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's a better businessman than player. I mean, he was a pretty great player.
Yeah, he's also a billionaire.
I mean, and he just made $2 billion off this sale. So
he
what do I know?
He just sold a team that he paid $275 for
a not very good team.
Yeah, for $3 billion. I might say
it's a good investment for sure.
I might say businessman Mike getting up there with Air Mike. That's all I'm saying.
He's getting close. He's getting close.
Yeah, never been a great executive, though. Post-playing career, was an executive with the Washington Wizards, and then obviously took over in Charlotte in 2010 as the guy, and never saw any level of success.
No.
Let's start in Washington.
Yeah.
I'm going to point to one really big thing here. Had the 1st round pick in 2001, drafted Kwame Brown.
Kwame.
Now,
Legend.
we look at Kwame as a quote unquote bust. That's fair.
He's a laughing stock, if we're being honest. Like Kwame Brown is like when you're talking draft busts, it's like Kwame Brown,
He's
Michael
up there,
Candy, Anthony Bennett,
Greg Oden.
I feel bad for Greg Oden.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to put Greg Oden in.
I feel
personally.
Can I say I feel almost as bad for Kwame Brown? Have you ever taken a deep dive into Kwame Brown's training camp and having to go play and deal with Michael Jordan while he was a 17-year-old kid?
Yeah, no, I haven't dug too deep.
Oh,
I have just heard surface level that Mike made his life a living hell.
I don't remember the name of the book, but I did read it and I still have it at home. And it basically chronicles Michael Jordan's time in that period with the Wizards. And the things he did to Kwame Brown, from physically just annihilating him on the basketball court to the way he would speak to him.
That's the thing, right?
Using slurs that we not only are not okay today, probably weren't okay then.
Which is nuts, yeah.
Right?
You're
and
using terms that aren't good in 2000.
And you have to put it in this perspective, man. That's a 17-year-old child.
Right.
And the
Michael
greatest,
Jordan's 39.
The greatest basketball player in the world, a grown man, has basically broken you so badly that you never had a chance. You never had a chance. Yeah. And it kind of goes back to what we were speaking about with Michael Jordan as a front office exec.
Right.
Where Michael has this expectation upon players that are nowhere near his skill level.
Yeah.
And for the life of him, can't figure out why they can't be him.
He expects, he expects them to be him. And when they aren't him, him, and not him being like, the new term him, like as in Michael Jordan, when Kwame Brown doesn't respond to things the way that Michael would expect.
17-year-old Kwame Brown.
He gets mad and he just doesn't understand. And that to me was the reason why he failed, was he was just never able to understand others' perspectives. And and Mike is not one to lead with kid gloves either. He's going to tell you how it is, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's Mike's way or the highway.
100%. And I almost feel like he gaslights guys. I'll never forget a story coming out when Kevin Martin kind of, I don't want to say came to prominence, but had really risen in the NBA ranks as a member of the Sacramento Kings. And I want to say this was in the B, and they had a sit down with him, and he had just it was something, he had signed a Jordan deal.
Right. North Carolina guy, right? Kevin Martin.
Yeah. And I want to say that he was invited to the Hall of Fame speech. All the Jordan guys were invited there. And, Kevin Martin goes up to Jordan and, just basically talks about how, man, honored to be here, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, you're great. Thank you.
Jordan looks at him and goes, "You'll be here one day too."
No, he did not.
To Kevin Martin.
Yikes. Yeah, not a great time. Kevin Martin.
Not hating on Kevin Martin.
Totally fine basketball player. Not Hall of Famer.
What do you do in that scenario if you're Kevin Martin? Like, this dude just put on expectations of me to be a Hall of Fame basketball player. Kevin at the time is probably 25, 26.
Right.
Again, he's still a kid.
Yeah. I think some guy, there was the whole Mamba challenge, if you remember, I could not stand that, but
so bad.
I think some guys take it and they really thrive on it. And they're like, wow, if Michael Jordan thinks that I can be the greatest player ever, that's all the motivation I need. But I think that sometimes that's a lot of pressure. And sometimes, and sometimes it can get to your head too much. And sometimes you can say, Michael Jordan said, I could be one of the best players ever, so give me the ball. Like, what do you know? Mike told me this, so you can't tell me nothing.
Right.
Whoever your coach is.
And then you get dunked on. And then you play on bad teams. And you're a 13-point score average in the NBA. You're an average NBA player. And you remember that time Michael Jordan told you you're going to be where he is. Yeah. That has to mess with you mentally.
Oh, yeah.
That has to mess with you mentally until you're probably around 40, 45, and you just realize, like, oh, man, this raging narcissist.
Exactly.
Just basically put this pressure on me for absolutely no reason.
No reason at all. Yeah.
I would love to get Kevin Martin's perspective on that all these years later. Like, man, that dude put that in there.
Was that a positive for you? Was that a negative for you? I would, it wasn't anything even. Like, do you even think of, I don't know. Yeah.
Like, I'd be fascinated to know his conversations with LaMelo Ball.
Right.
Because that's the dude I could see him just putting all that on him.
Right. And we saw that, or we heard stories of, recent guys saying, Mike will just watch a practice and just rip. I think Terry Rozier told the story about how Mike will watch practices and will just yell at people. And the problem is he still has that same fire and intensity that he had as a player, as an owner or as a governor. And that's just they're two completely separate jobs and need to be treated differently. And I just don't think Mike ever understood that. I think he really felt like, oh, I'm the, kind of like how we joke how, people will buy sports teams and then feel like they're part of the team. Well, Michael Jordan is no different. Like, Mike had the team and felt like, okay, this is now means that everything, I'm in control of everything, and I can yell at people, no problem. These are my guys, and I'm going to run this organization the way I want to, instead of putting actual good people in charge. I mean, Mitch Kupchak has been their GM for I don't even know how long.
Mitch Kupchak has made one good trade in the NBA. It was the Pau Gasol trade.
Yes, and that's it. That is literally the only good thing Mitch Kupchak has ever done. And I don't understand how Mike just kind of trusts his guys, and he never really was actually putting the best people in charge.
No, he was putting people in charge that I think he could kind of run.
I mean, Steve Clifford's their coach again.
I know.
And Steve Clifford's a good coach. He's a perfectly fine coach. But to run it back again, like, nobody does that. Nobody does that anymore.
Here's the problem with guys like Michael Jordan being at the top. And I think this is kind of what we've been circling around, and I want to put a bow on this. Michael Jordan still has that fire to win.
Yeah.
Very clear. If he's out at practices yelling and screaming at guys. Yeah. Michael Jordan, because of who he is, being the quote-unquote greatest and knowing that, there is no way for anybody to tell Michael Jordan, hey, you're the problem here.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan is, again, guys like this at that level are raging narcissists. It's just kind of a fact. Michael Jordan does not have the capacity to look in the mirror and be like, yo, what? I'm the problem.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the capacity.
Yeah, right. It's not going to be his fault. And also, like and even if someone were to speak up and truly believe, hey, Mike, like, I think I know what I'm talking about. Who are you? And Mike's probably going to tell you this too. Who are you to tell Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player that's ever stepped on earth, what you know more about basketball than him? It's just not going to go down. Like you're just going to get torn apart. And that's just it. I think it was just never going to work out for that reason. Like Mike just never had any level of humility or any level of
empathy for guys, like
letting other people do their jobs essentially. And he never really put good enough people in charge to do it. And it's just,
quite frankly, I don't think the top tier execs would want to work for him.
Yeah, why
guys that really know the game, that have put together teams, you don't want to work for someone who's going to try to tell you, you of being super successful at this, how to do your job.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
That just wasn't going to happen.
All right, we have had a hell of a show today. We got one more segment, but good news. It's crossover time. I wasn't going to break yet. I was throwing that to you.
I was like, I thought you were going to break.
I was going to eventually.
Oh, okay. Well, crossover time's my favorite time. Are we bringing in Whitey now?
Whitey Gleason coming up next, and maybe we can convince even Jay Johnson to come on.
Oh,
right here at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Every week getting to talk to Kenneth Cornelius Thomas.
Oh my God, he busts out the whole name.
Hey, come on.
Special show. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to coming back next year. Hopefully we can keep this going.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being on here with you. Damn, nothing, dude. Don't make me reach through this phone, man.
You're in New Mexico. I can talk garbage.
Hey, I know where you live. I'll find out.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
For nearly 20 years since Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course opened near the banks of the Sacramento River, it's been Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Perry Dye of the famous Dye family of golf course architects designed the course to be an easy walk, but motorized carts are available as well. You and your friends of all abilities will find Bartley Kavanaugh featuring a brand new tap room is a great place to play golf. After your round, relax on the outdoor veranda overlooking the course with a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tea times, visit BartleyKavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Oh, God, he's back.
Who's back?
The clown.
The naked one?
Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia.
Does he want to trade it in?
No, he wants to show it off.
Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia, great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Like the hottest all-electric EV in the market, the luxurious EV6. Save big with lease specials of $10,000 below MSRP. Not just one or two, but every EV6 in stock. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your EV6 today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Amy's Outdoor Living, now in Sacramento and El Dorado Hills. They're your grilling headquarters with smoking hot deals. Get it? Smoking hot deals on Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg barbecues, plus the professional grade Gosney pizza ovens for Father's Day. That's right, for Father's Day, not dads and grads, Father's Day. Save up to $600 on Traeger Timberline models. Save up to $100 on Weber Genesis. Stop in and see all the in-store offers they have. And oh, by the way, free setup and delivery, which is a huge help, Save up to 40% on select in-store patio furniture and umbrellas. Their umbrella shipment just arrived with many colors, sizes, and shapes. It's all at Amy's Outdoor Living, El Camino near Watt, and inside Amy Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center. Just tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Hey, Jay, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in Maine. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oh, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Hey guys, June is Men's Health Month, and Revive Men's Health encourages you to prioritize your health. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. Call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
The final segment of the show, Chris and Co. Jay Mars stepping in today. I've had fun.
It's been a blast.
It has been a blast, and the fun keeps on happening. Whitey, I know you're super handsome, but so am I, and you're blocking me.
Oh, am I?
Maybe we either switch to this chair, or maybe you get nice and cozy with Chris.
Let me slide.
Musical chairs.
There's a demand for my face. That's all I'm
Right
saying.
here is fine.
Yeah, that's
Right?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're just not in front of that
because we're
camera
using
right
that
there.
one, right?
Yeah. Zoom out. Love producing live on the air. It's great.
You know, it's great.
La, la, la.
Oh, fantastic.
Sounds good to
This
me.
is weird, huh? Little role reversal here. I'm in the big chair.
Yeah.
Whitey's in the little chair.
Yeah.
That sounds kinky. All right. Lots to get to today still left in the sports world. Whitey and Jay Johnson coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. Whitey, do you prefer having the afternoons where you can kind of sleep in a little bit and, prep in the midday? What is your ideal time spot?
Anytime I can be on the radio.
Look at you.
They
That's
say,
a
hey,
pro.
can you do this? Yes, I'm there for it. So, by the way, you've been doing a lot better job than that clown that they've had on with Chris the last couple other days of this week. I mean, good
Don't
job.
talk about Nate like that. Come on.
Also, don't think that clown flubs the sponsor's name once an hour. I don't think he has dead air.
Well, you're pulling double duty over there. At
I know.
least it's not triple. So.
Dude, I'm going back to my FM music morning days.
Doing it all.
Where you actually, if you're the lead, you have to run the board because they don't pay people to do that. That would make the budget go up, and we know that's not a thing to talk about. Okay, you and Jay Johnson. First,
What happened to Jay? I thought he was just.
I know, he was just here,
Okay.
then he ran
All right.
out.
All right.
Jay is prepping
Getting busy too. Yeah.
feverishly.
Yeah, he is.
And by prepping feverishly, I mean he's looking for his headphones. Someone took him.
Oh man,
we have like headphone thieves around here, and I
know.
don't think it's okay.
I don't either.
No, not at all.
I
Why?
need to get some.
We were talking about Michael Jordan in the last segment.
I know who that is.
Yeah, he basketballed well. He's businessman welled. But we really broke down why we think he was a terrible front office exec or governor. What are your thoughts on MJ, selling the Hornets for $3 billion and really as an executive having nothing to show for it other than lots and lots of dollars?
Well, two things. First of all, as we all know, just because you can do something really well doesn't mean you can identify in other people that trait, obviously. But the other thing is I'm sad about Michael and also Larry Bird that
Michael was never able to be part of the Bulls, and like Larry Bird was never part of the Celtics.
True.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that's a great
Magic was
point,
part of
yeah.
the Lakers, and I'm sure they regretted that until it worked out.
Yeah, I think they by the way, let's point out they regretted that probably on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah.
Coaching and front office.
Yeah. But, I'll never forget when I think of Michael, I think of the in-between, like when he was done with the Wizards as a player. And do you remember this? He met with the owner and they said, yeah, we don't need you anymore.
Mhm.
And there was video of him like driving away in his car. It was so sad.
Really?
It was like the Wizard
Oh,
said, yeah, we don't need you. We just wanted you as a player.
Yeah,
we don't need
He's
you
trying to
if you're
sell
not playing.
tickets,
And
honestly.
he drove away. He's like, man, that's Michael
That's
Jordan.
Michael freaking Jordan.
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
kind of
treat him like
sad.
that.
But you know what? His hometown, North Carolina,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he's so prominent, came up and said, Michael, we
Yeah.
love you. We want you to come here and turn things around with the Bob Kitties.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yep.
mm-hmm.
And that didn't work out too
That's
well.
where that stopped.
Yeah, Mecca Okafor and who were some other Adam Morrison. There's
Our
been,
buddy
like,
Ryan Hollins was briefly
Ryan
a Bobcat.
Hollins, yeah.
I think I remember when Corey Maggette was their best player.
Really, I mean, I remember the Gerald Wallace era for sure, and I mean that was that obviously had ties here, but
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they trade LaMarcus Aldridge on draft day for Tyrese Thomas?
I cannot correct you. I have no.
No, that wasn't them. I'm sorry, that's the wrong trade.
Yeah, I can't tell you a lot about the Bobcats history.
They were one of the worst. Didn't in the lockout year they had one of the worst seasons in the history of the
Yes.
NBA?
Yeah.
They didn't play the full 82 game schedule, but they were.
I think they were like struggling to win 10 games that year.
Yeah.
I remember
yeah.
that being absolutely terrible. And I mean, that's frankly just kind of the story of the Bobcats and how they were. But I mean, they've been really, which is if
Those orange jerseys just will pierce my eyes forever.
is it true?
Yes.
Now, okay.
The owner's name was
yes.
like,
Okay. I'm
Bob-
like,
Bob-
because a Bobcat is
Yeah.
obviously an actual animal.
Yeah.
But they were not named because of whatever. They had some affinity, or there's tons of
You
Bobcats
guys
running
named
around
Bob
in Charlotte.
Richardson or something, but it was
Bob Johnson.
Bob Johnson. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Such an
So-
unusual name. I couldn't
know.
remember it.
yeah.
But
That's incredible. You want to talk about Jordan's narcissism? Naming a professional organization essentially after yourself is next level. That's
We know the
insane.
Cleveland Browns are named after Paul
That's
Brown.
true. That's
Yeah.
true, actually, and that's not a great name either.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
I don't know.
well,
how
the
they didn't
Clippers
see
are
that
named
one coming.
after Donald Sterling because that's what he did to the payroll every year.
Hey now,
Whoa! Where's that been the last 4 hours?
Oh man, I know. I saved the best for last. That's what I'm at. I'm more of a finale guy.
Yeah.
Main events type level stuff. But
Fourth
you,
quarter Jay.
yes,
That's what they
thank
call
you,
him. That's what they call
Mr.
him.
Clutch. But you bring up a fascinating point about like the Celtics and Bird.
Yeah, that's a great
especially
point.
because when Bird retired in '92, when did he start coaching the Pacers? '98,
Sure.
somewhere in that time period.
Sure,
right?
and he was coach of the year, and yeah, and he ran the Pacers for a while. Yeah,
And what's crazy is Red Auerbach was still very much a prominent member of that organization. How he never, how that never came to be, because they went through a handful of that coached the Celtics at that
Right.
time.
Yeah, Rick Pitino.
I almost said Larry O'Brien, Jim O'Brien. Did Chris Ford ever? No, he didn't ever head coach Boston. No, yes, he did. Yeah, he was Bird's last head coach. Anyways, yeah, that's fascinating.
Kevin McHale was a coach, but not for the Celtics.
Not for
Danny
the Celtics,
Ainge.
yeah, Rockets,
Well,
yeah.
I ended up running the Celtics. Actually, he was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, no, McHale and Bird, both head coaches, and mild success for McHale, really a lot of success for Bird. But yeah, the fact that the Celtics never brought those guys back is interesting. And then it feels like, do you think the Michael Jordan thing and why he's never been back in Chicago is just purely a Jerry Reinsdorf issue?
Sure. It's funny. Do you remember when they closed down Candlestick? They had one more football game there, and they had the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a show, and we had Joe Montana on to ask him about that. It's like, are you
name
coming to
drop.
this thing? Well, I mean, I know. Sorry.
Kidding.
But are you coming, Joe Montana? He's like, look, if you work for Microsoft and they fire you, and then like 20 years later they have a reunion, are you going to go? So it's like, this was just a few years ago. He's still, guys like that, they don't forget stuff like that.
No, absolutely
and if
not.
probably nobody's like that more than Michael Jordan when it comes to holding grudges.
Michael is petty.
Vindictive?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan?
Petty.
What? Never. Oh my
So
goodness. I
petty.
could not see that from him. Absolutely not.
Yeah, Petty Joe's is kind of the same way.
Do you guys think Larry Bird is the best combination? Like, has anyone ever succeeded on the floor, but also off
Jerry
the
West.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
true, right?
I mean, close. You could argue Larry
Right.
was better than Jerry in both, but
Right. But yeah, that's true, huh? Yeah, but it's
Jerry
just
West built some pretty good teams,
incredible team, and multiple, different organizations, different times, and I think Jerry's probably the answer.
Yeah,
there,
but I still, we didn't ever talk about this, but that recent, he was, whose podcast was he on? Paul George's, where he's like, I basically told Kobe, who wanted to come to Memphis, don't do this, while he was running Memphis. I'm like, dude, if I'm a Grizzlies fan and I hear that, because they had Pau Gasol at the time.
Yeah.
We know how Kobe and Pau did together.
Pretty great.
I'd be a little
I'd be a little
salty about that.
I wonder what do you think? We kind of talked about it. What do you think is so difficult about like having to, is it just putting your ego aside? Like why is it so difficult for like truly great players to end up, why do truly great players end up having a tough time evaluating talent?
My guess is, how some guys you play basketball, even guys you play pickup with, some guys see what's going on, and they can just see it. Other guys just can't. Yeah. And I think some people have that ability. They can see in other people, oh, that guy does it right. He knows what he's doing. And other people just don't have that innate ability to see it.
Right.
Like Jerry West, he saw everything. He understood.
Pat Riley.
Yeah. And Michael just doesn't, the things he sees in people, they aren't necessarily things that translate to making them a really good part of a good team.
Yeah.
It's a unique skill and not everybody has. Just because you were good at it doesn't mean you have it.
I guess it's just, which makes sense. But just for some, I don't know if it's just a weird human thing, but you would assume that
it seems counterintuitive.
Exactly. Just because you're great at something, you would think that you would have some sort of insight into what are the tiny intricacies of what makes them great. But for whatever reason, it just seems like, if anything, it does the opposite when you're great, that you just, for whatever reason, you don't see the small little things that make people so great or so useful.
We were just saying Michael Jordan's been stubborn, right? And that served him well as a player.
Right.
He's probably, as a GM and a talent evaluator, he's probably very stubborn, and that's not a good thing to be when you're trying to figure out how good people are.
Right. Yeah. You always have to take new information and readjust constantly. I mean, if someone tweaks an ankle or whatever, if something happens in someone's life, like those things change different people. Right.
Yeah. And Michael's like, no, I'm Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't
All
make
right.
sense.
Whitey, you're coming up next with Jay Johnson filling in for Cattles and Rummy. What you guys coming up on the show?
We're going to debut, I think. We'll see how it goes. Brand new show, Beal or no Beal.
I love it.
I'm just in on the title.
How has no one else thought of that bit? Like,
He's
that's
so
just
good.
perfect.
It's not fair. It's really not fair.
All right. Check out Beal or No Beal with Whitey Gleason and Jay Johnson next on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage